Grab your beverages and turn up your interweb. Solving the world's problems 12 ounces at a time. It's Dudes and Beer.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to episode 119 of Dudes and Beer. I am Chris Jordan, your host. With me tonight, as always, is Stephen Bishop, as well as Julie Connolly, just once again back from out of town. She was gone for a while. She was here last week, and back again. We got 2 weeks in a row.
Traveling the nation.
It's great. And with us also is special guest, local musician Johnny Dango, who just got off of a rousing tour, going around promoting the new stuff with Memphis Strange and everything else. And he is actually getting ready to release his new album, Recluse in Plain Sight, coming up in the beginning of September. Is that correct?
That is correct. I wanted to originally call it Brown Recluse in Plain Sight.
Yeah, that makes it really regional, though.
Yeah, a lot of things.
But we're gonna get into some of that. We're gonna get into the whole history of Johnny Dango and his band, the Stinking Roses, as well as the creation of this album, the influence behind this album, what brought it to be. And talking about things like that really brings to mind to me not just music, but books, reading about stuff. Because, you know, as a musician myself, you kind of have to educate yourself in a whole panoply of topics in order to be able to be a well-balanced musician. And that's where Audible comes in. Audible is the great new audio book format from Amazon. It's the perfect way to catch up with all your favorite reading on the go and listen to your books wherever you are with our free app, at home, in the car, in the gym. Even if you switch devices, you will never lose your place. You can listen to A-list celebrities narrate their favorite stories, enjoy full cast performances, discover Grammy Award-winning audiobooks, and more. With the world's largest library of audiobooks, you're sure to find the perfect book to listen to. If you don't love a book, swap it out anytime for free. Simply visit the website, audibletrials.com/dudesandbeer to get your 30-day trial of Audible today. What do you get with this trial? 30-day membership plus a free book to get you reading immediately. You also get 1 credit per month after that initial trial toward any book, regardless of the price. You get ad-free premium audio listening offline with no interruptions. You get to build your own library and even keep the books if you cancel your Audible subscription. I don't know why you would, because once again, the coolest thing is you get to exchange any book you didn't like at any time for free. And you also get 30% off any additional audiobooks that you get on the Audible service. So once again, go visit audibletrials.com/dudesandbeer today to join the amazing Audible audiobook service from Amazon and start listening to your favorite books today. That website again is audibletrials.com/dudesandbeer. Start reading your favorite books with your ears today, folks. And on that note, yeah. Learning experiences.
Yeah. They haven't asked me to read a book yet for them.
Okay.
When they do.
Yeah.
You should get your agent on that, because I hear it's a process, though.
I bet.
Can you imagine just sitting reading the whole thing out loud? I mean, how long?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's cool. Reading's awesome.
That's pretty much like, I mean, imagine like Sir David Attenborough. I said for years that they basically have him like locked away in the closet of the BBC watching wildlife footage.
You don't think he ever gets to go actually experience the wildlife?
No. They have him like, he died like 10 years ago. It's like Matrix status. He has like hoses coming out of him with like drugs to make him hallucinate like he's actually alive. And they're watching them, which is why it's so real.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's just one of my many conspiracy theories.
Well, let's get into a few more.
I wish you no ill. I wish you no ill, Sir
hell with
David
music.
Attenborough. I wish you no ill.
We love conspiracy.
But you did just get off the road. How was that? How long were you on the road?
It was awesome.
Let everybody know.
I was just out for a month with the Memphis Strange. Like exactly a month.
Okay.
So
And where all
got
did
back
y'all go?
Saturday.
Was it a circuitous route?
It
I mean,
was.
some people go out and come back. Some people just go to the end point.
And then what?
just.
Don't
Well,
do
I mean,
anything?
Just
they come back.
Did you
They come back.
relocate?
They come back, but they don't play their way back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We kind of played our way back. We had I don't know. There's a couple like long hauls in between. Just kind of get to a point and then start going out and playing shows.
And how many stops were on the tour?
Oh God, I don't know. I think we did 18.
Yeah, it seems
Oh,
like
wow.
a lot.
Nice.
You guys were always
Yeah.
going somewhere. Midwestern,
A few more days
right?
off than we should have. No, we were up in the mountains in Colorado. And
Yeah, I
that's
saw
it.
some of those photos. Yeah.
Yeah,
It looked really nice.
We had a good time. You know, we camp and fish in a lot of places. I only book tours places I want to go fishing. It's
Ah,
That's
cool.
a nice way to
kind of
do
my,
it.
my policy.
It makes sense.
That's pretty dope.
It makes sense. So, while you were on the road doing things with Memphis Strange, you were actively getting things ready for the launch of your new solo album.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit. Let's hop in the Wayback Machine and tell us what gave birth to the persona that is Johnny Dango. What is Johnny? Who is Johnny Dango? What's he about?
Ooh, yeah. Who is this mystical character?
Is it a mystical
I don't
character,
know.
or is that legitimately just your name?
Yeah, I mean, it could be a mystical character. I don't know that you can tell yet in 2017.
I mean, it's like
thousands of
is
years
it like,
from now, the Church of the Dango shall,
Yeah.
Dango.
I
Well,
like it.
stomped out all
Yeah.
competing factors.
Yeah.
I like where that's going.
That's the battle cry of the Dango right there.
First things first, get this record out.
So is
Well-
this your first solo record?
No, it's the first I've done in a while. It's the first anything we've put out in a while. We put out the Strange record in March, but it had been like 2012 since I did anything. Been recording a bunch of stuff, but never.
Yeah, obviously,
around
since
to
you've got
release
a
it.
lot of stuff coming out and just come out and
Yeah,
been
yeah. So it's
having a little
all
renaissance.
it's all happening. It's all happening now, man.
Well, and how frequently, were you writing and recording while you were on the road?
No,
or was
no,
it that it was all
fishing.
tracked and okay?
You
Yeah.
can't
That's-
write
yeah,
music
just
while you
fishing.
fish.
You fish and think about songs.
Yeah, think about
Yeah,
it.
because I mean,
No,
some
you know,
people bring
get
the
a few
hard drive on the
ideas,
road
but-
and do projects from
Yeah.
studio to studio, things like that. But
Yeah, we're not technologically sophisticated enough.
Yeah.
Even if we had the equipment, we wouldn't know how to use it. So.
yeah,
So where do you record? Are
Nice.
you here local?
I've recorded most of the stuff I've done with Steve Collins down in Lockhart. He's got a studio called Troubadour,
Nice.
and he does music and film and all kinds of stuff. He did the whole art video too.
Awesome.
Nice.
Steve's
Which-
good. Bud,
which has
Bud,
gotten
a
some
fine artist.
great press. Let's use that
Very
as a
popular.
seg into the first track, "Hole in My Heart."
Oh, yeah.
And whenever we come back, tell us a little bit about the creation of this song and what it's all about.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about the creation of that song, Johnny. What is it exactly that brought that song to be, and what was it like for you to record it in the studio to bring that to life?
Well, thank you for killing the guitar solo before there's a really bad note that comes.
Well,
I thought you wanted to hear it.
No one gets to hear that.
It's, the main reason
So by
is
the songs that
the
definitely
YouTube.
Sweet
If we actually, because you are actually registered and everything with your music, which is a smart thing to do, folks. If you're out there making music, register it with ASCAP and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But because of that, whenever our episodes go up on YouTube, regardless of the fact that the artist is in the studio talking
They
about
shut
the
it down.
music, they mute your music, and it's like, but we're actively interviewing the artist about that
the
song.
music.
So we have to keep it short.
So
Wow.
the shorter we keep it, the greater likelihood that the audio stays there.
We
for
might
you.
get slammed, maybe.
What if we played it through like a boom box, like we were sitting
Still
here?
happens.
Still happens.
Yeah.
Still happens.
Yeah.
These
They
rap
don't
Yeah,
care.
the algorithm, man.
We found
telling you.
other different
Man.
venues or
There are
media
great,
that we
there
can
are
use
great
that's not
outlets
YouTube.
that we get.
Outlets,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
the word that I was
Yeah.
looking for.
We're gonna make some deals.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do some
fantastic.
weird
Quite
videos.
honestly,
Making
if you want to
deals.
know about it, it's called Breach.tv. Go
Yeah.
check it out.
Breach.fm too.
Breach.fm as well. And as an artist, it's the fact of they actively have agreements with ASCAP, BMI, things like that.
Yeah.
So you can actually like put whatever you want up
Yeah.
there and they don't
Yeah.
take it down or mute
Yeah.
it or whatever. It's cool. We found them totally by accident.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
cool.
it's been great for
Mhm.
when we have musicians on.
Been really good.
Yeah, and you can actually like make revenue with your videos, things like that. And if you are if you are like a video content maker and say somebody did an homage video with that and posted it, you would still get paid. Your money actively comes off the top of that payment and goes directly to your rights at BMI. And that's pretty
That's
visionary.
interesting.
It's pretty visionary because right now, like I said, there are a lot of people getting shut down on their YouTube channels, things like that.
Yeah.
Videos
Lots
getting
of,
silenced and muted because of it.
Lots of clubs have been closing up in Montana.
Oh, yeah.
because
Really?
The
Yeah.
performance rights were like they're not paying.
Crazy.
They're not paying.
They're
their
not paying-
licensing
they're not
fee.
paying
They're not paying the
ASCAP
fees.
fees.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's why, and it's a
Oh
huge.
yeah, was it you that was talking about the fact that you had to like take
That was
like,
kind
more
of
a cut or
there was
something?
I think that was paperwork that they did so they could say, "See, we're doing our part," but then it was kind of
like you got
it
left.
was kind
out
of
the deal.
ignored. It was
sort of a,
no, we got. I mean, there was no issues, but like right up until the thing, we're like, we don't really know what's going on here, so we're just gonna do our show and
Yeah.
fingers
afterwards-
crossed.
Well, yeah,
Nothing
I mean-
was said, and I think it's just like they can show that contract to all the PROs.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's kind of like the release that we have you signed.
But yeah, I mean, it
Yeah.
started
Yeah.
in the early 2000s. Really, I first saw it happening when I lived in
Napster.
Maine.
That's
Well,
what I
it was more live venues. Because you started to see these tribute bands. You started to see
Yeah.
these bands that like made their money playing 80s music.
Yeah.
Playing
Yeah,
like
yeah.
and would come in and charge like $1,000 a night to the venue, and they'd pack the place.
Mhm.
You know, so the venue's making money, they're making money, but the problem is it's not a jukebox.
Right.
And you've paid for a jukebox, which means you've technically paid the ASCAP licensing fee. But unless the band is registered with ASCAP as someone who performs those songs and pays like the annual like $1,500
Right, then they're-
or whatever, then you as a
It's not
bar
the artist that get-
are the one liable for what happens on your stage. And you literally saw, like you were saying in Montana, the case where bars and venues started getting shut down.
But you're
Because
playing your own stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well,
well, it's
goes
also
for
people.
covers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
yeah,
They start having the notices up, no covers.
yeah. No covers allowed. You
Yep.
see that a lot at open
Yeah.
mics and stuff like that.
that's what this place was doing. They were saying, no
Yeah.
covers. If you play covers, we're gonna, knock whatever 20% off.
Ooh, yeah,
the guarantee or whatever.
Yeah,
but it's a 4-hour show.
Yeah,
Right. You're the entertainer for the night.
Hours.
It's just a bar, you know. It's like we're not in a theater show. You're not selling tickets.
Yeah. We aren't one act out of 5 and got like a 45-minute set.
Do 2 hours and then do a repeat.
Yeah, the only way you're playing 4 hours. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't people out there with 4 hours of material.
Right.
There are.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we could have probably got pretty close.
I could see where between the work with Memphis Strange in and of itself, as well as your solo work and Doug's solo work amongst all of it, you could stretch out 4 hours.
Yeah.
You could easily do 4 45-minute sets. And be tight and be good with it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a far stretch of the imagination for the typical original band.
Right.
Even the Grateful Dead. It being their birthday.
Jerry.
Happy birthday, Jerry.
For a transition. Straight to Jerry.
Even the Grateful Dead,
Happy birthday, Jerry.
Even with their originals, some of which were 18, 20 minutes long, hey, they played like American standards, things like that. They played Johnny Be Good at like every show.
Yeah, that's what we were like,
Mama Tried.
We can find all the public domain songs we know.
Yeah.
And do that. We would have been okay. We could have done it, but
they didn't care anyway.
They didn't really.
Yeah, they're not.
Well, they were quite happy with our show.
I'm sure they were. You guys are great.
And
thank you for being honest.
How has going back? Where did the concept for "Hole in My Heart" come from?
That's right. That's what we were talking about. Wow.
Full circle.
Man, I don't really know. I wrote it a long time ago, like over 10 years ago.
You just had it in the pocket for a while, right?
It was it was hidden in a notebook that was in a box in storage, that I hadn't. I went back through it recently and by recently, it's been a few years since I found it. Then I made a demo with my buddy Matt out at his place, or this place he was staying out in California. He had a little rat shack that we recorded some demos. He made a great record. I made some crummy demos.
Wow.
They're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. They're pretty cool in their own way, but they were, they were done fast. But we got the idea down. And he was instrumental in some of the ideas for it, but I knew I wanted to make like a proper studio version of it because there were some other parts that we didn't get around to fleshing out. So,
because it's very, very well orchestrated and arranged, and has the like Julie was saying, the very Beatles vibe to it.
Yeah,
I liked
it's got
about
a
it.
super good vibe. And the video totally goes with it too. It's just
the video's cool. I like it more each time I watch it. I haven't watched it that many times.
I watched it a good 4 or 5 over the last few days. Because it came out on Huffington Post, what was it, Friday? Or Saturday? Something like that.
That's pretty dope.
It was toward the end of last week. I remember seeing it on your Facebook page and everything else. I've watched it a few times since.
Yeah, I like those vocals.
Very well done.
It is really well done. Vocals it totally reminds me like a Beatle-ish,
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing to me sounds timeless though. It's really well done. Yeah. Beautiful song.
Thank you. Yeah. Like I say, found it in the notebook. Was like, hey, I remember that one, and sat down with it and played for a little while. It did something different at that part. I don't really know. So it took a little while to bring it back because I didn't have a recording. That was
I'm like that with old songs I write, and I had the same thing. Like notebooks that are thrown in the closet or something. I'm trying to pull them back out. I'm like, oh, what did I do on that one part? Or,
but then you can freshen it up.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Luckily,
modernize it.
I think when I first wrote it, it probably didn't have that little. It was probably a shorter, simpler middle section. And when I found it again, I was like, what goes on here? And found that E minor in there. I was like, oh, hey, that kind of... It's like... So it probably got better from sitting around
fleshed
for a while.
It out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I've always been someone that whenever I wrote, especially lyric music, I always recorded it. Like, Didn't matter what means. I always made some sort of copy of it immediately. I still have like
You're smart.
stacks of 4 tracks.
Yeah, that is a smart way of doing it.
But yeah, you know, there are those few that at the time I didn't have access to my 4-track. I didn't have access to that stuff. And it's kind of interesting to go back and try and play those out of the notebook because you see the chord progression and you can hear it in your head, but sometimes it's a little bit different than what you actually wrote the first time around.
Yeah.
You know,
I had several more right around that same time that like I don't remember at all. Like their words, I'm like, it's all right. Maybe it was a great melody, but I can't remember it. And I wrote down the chords, but I'm like, I don't remember what rhythm I had. Like,
See, that's what sucks.
Yeah, it's just like
I hate when that
lost.
happens.
Well, it's nice
kind
now
of
with
there,
iPhones. You can just like sing it in there real quick.
Oh
and
yeah,
be done with it,
yeah. I need to go back. One of these days.
Because I'm bad about recording like right
all
off
my
at that
demos.
particular moment, like Chris does, which is smart.
Well,
and I'll tell myself, "Oh, I'll remember that." And then I'll come back to it. And
you do have to make a point to like, hey, when I get home, I need to put that down.
Yeah.
You aren't always gonna have. Well, I guess nowadays
with smartphones, you really
nowadays
do.
with the
Just
smartphone, you really
super
have
quick,
no
dirty,
excuse.
just
It's right
get it
there.
done.
You know, I have more than one recording of me just like jamming around doing something because I didn't want to forget it. You know, and then even telling myself what the chords were, you know, like vocally. But how is it for you performing a song like that live as opposed to in the studio? Because it is a highly produced song.
Yeah. That's interesting. We didn't play it on the Strange tour. We talked about doing it and then never actually got around to doing it. But with the Roses, we play it and it's totally it's different instrumentation. We got a steel guitar in the band, so he kind of does the slide thing, but it's a different, it's a steel thing instead of that straight up George Harrison slide.
It's a different it's a different tuning naturally because of that.
Yeah. But still got some keys, and I'm playing pretty much the exact same rig that we did for the recording. So
which is what
my guitar is fine. Just a Strat, a little bit of overdrive, and either a phaser or a little rotary emulator.
Yeah.
Nice.
Little Leslie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got one of those Roto Vibe pedals. It's like a wah, but it just quit working on me recently.
I know.
And
this guy who does pedal modification.
This guy.
I do, actually.
Well.
Yeah.
Do I have some work for you?
The name of this room is Austin Hot Mods.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, it's all coming.
That's why
that's the workbench.
The box so many parts.
Advertise that on the
Our
podcast.
friends listening
Not
here.
Organically.
It is a sponsor of the podcast, but I don't necessarily drop commercials for it anymore.
Sorry, I mean, it just came up.
One hand washes the other.
Exactly.
That's
exactly how it is. Washing itself.
You gotta clean those hundreds somehow.
Yeah.
You gotta wash those hundreds. That's what I tell my wife. You're just in this for the thousands, aren't you?
Yep.
Dollars.
I'm a multi-thousandaire.
Why not?
Multi-dollar-aire.
Yeah.
I've been saying we make hundreds of dollars a year in this business for years now. And
That's
it's
right.
sad that it's still
It's mostly
true.
That's a question that I have for every musician that comes onto my show, whether it's this show or Talking Sound, is where do you draw the line between musician and artist? And what side of that line do you believe you fall on?
No pressure, but answer it.
Really.
Yeah.
No pressure on me.
That's some Barbara Walters deep action right there.
I'm probably just one of the dotted eyes.
Wow.
Musician.
Do you dot your eye with a heart or with a guitar?
Yeah.
Whatever a plea for help is.
Well, and that's
no, I don't, man. I don't know. I don't think of it that often. I mean, I want to say it's art. I mean, I know playing music is performance and all that. I know it is.
Kind of a little one in the same. Almost.
I try not to philosophize about it too much because it leads to dark places.
It can.
Yeah.
It can.
For me. What was the question? Where do I think I fit?
Well, and
nowhere.
Nice.
artist or musician. Where would you say you identify more, and why?
Right off the top of my head, I would say artist, just because I'm a pretty bad musician. Like, I'm not
makes sense.
Technically as proficient as I should be for
What
doing
should
it this
be?
long.
Yeah. Well,
lessons never stuck.
Obviously, part of the lesson stuck, or you wouldn't be here doing what you're doing.
Well,
At least the love for it stuck,
You know,
if not
maybe.
the technical
I
perfection.
don't know if some people have music in them when they're born or not. I'd say there's people are born with some talents, but anyone can learn a few tricks and do stuff. It's like the people with the talent, when they actually take the time to learn the tricks, that's when look out.
Look out.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some innate
cool stuff can happen, but you can learn too much and be a total wanker.
Mm-hmm.
You sure can.
So I don't know. I mean, I think of it. I was just reading a Rolling Stone interview with Jerry that they did today, where he was talking about meeting Neil Cassidy and how big of a thing that was in his life. And I always he brought up the one thing that Kerouac said about him that always really stuck out to me was Cassidy made his life an art. It wasn't about writing or doing anything. It's living his life like he did was his art. And just, sheesh,
if you watch the
I like playing music, but it's the fact that I get to do it with my friends is more important than the work itself in a lot of ways. Not all the time, but it's I'm going to be doing it no matter what. So the fact that I'm doing it with people that I love and care about makes it special to me.
Yeah.
And
and that's most definitely true. And that to me is where I've always drawn the difference between artist and musician. To me, musician is someone that and I have friends that are musicians that are out on the daily, whether it's teaching people music, things like that. They are using music as their means to pay their rent, everything else.
Yeah.
And you've gotten to a point, fortunately, where you are doing that, but you're still on the artistic side. You're still making an album regardless of album sales.
Yeah. And there are no album sales.
And that's
going to go double platinum for sure.
Give it away, Let people. Music's meant to be listened to.
Well, and
that's supposed to hide it from people. Because
right.
Not
exactly.
I'm not getting paid what I think it's worth.
Well, and that to me is where the artist comes in, because it you're gonna make the music and you're gonna make the album. And you're gonna multi-track record the album in a studio and do it right, because that's the vision of your art that you want to see.
It's also a damn good time.
It is. It's a hell of a good time. It's a hell of a good time. And, you would do that with or without people buying albums.
Yeah.
I feel. I'm the same way. I sit down and record stuff for 8, 9, 12 hours at a stretch in a day. And I do it and put it up online. And it's very much that, hey, come take it.
Mm-hmm.
Feel free. Yeah. If you want to buy it for $1, buy it for $1. But
I think if you get into it just for the sole purpose of the making money, or trying to get a large amount of money, it's all for the wrong reason.
Well, I'm not sure that anybody gets in it for that reason, but I think that if you get accustomed to it, maybe you got to make your money somehow.
Right.
Well, yeah, and I mean, there does come a point where it's hey. Like my bassist used to say, sure, we'll come play for free, but you have to pay us for all the rehearsal.
Mm-hmm.
For us to come out and play this 4-hour-long show took us 22 hours of rehearsal.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to compensate us for the 22 hours of rehearsal get ready to come play your free show.
When you start breaking down hours.
Breaking down
hours and hours. It's wow, I made 10 cents.
Yeah, I slept outside and I ate this fish that I caught.
Yeah, but I would like to do that. anyway. That's why.
Well,
why
and
I
that's
think
just it. Like,
I'm winning the game.
I think if
Yeah.
you're just comfortable,
I'm out there
right?
doing that. Well,
Yeah. Just getting comfortable and being comfortable at what you're doing, I think that would satisfy the artist, I would think. I mean, personally,
Well,
my
I
own
do-
self, if I was making enough that it just sustained my living or what I needed to survive, that would be totally good enough for me, not needing a big mansion or nothing or a big fat bank account.
Well,
Yeah.
but see, that's the thing though, is even needing enough to survive, like that's
Right.
that's a hard definition, and that's
that's
Surviving
different.
involves.
That's different for
I need some
everybody.
coconut trees and a hammock.
Yeah,
You know,
really,
like,
no.
yeah.
Really.
Ask Lionel
That's
Richie's
different-
ex-wife.
That's different for everybody.
What's her number?
So
Her alimony's huge.
you know, yeah, huge. Yeah, so you
But you
do-
want it to grow, It's
Yeah.
like you want more people to hear your stuff. You
Oh,
want,
absolutely.
hopefully to even like it.
Absolutely. But there are definitely people
records
who get,
cost a lot of money to make.
Right?
They do.
Yes.
That's what
Yeah.
sucks.
And that's
Records
just it.
still cost a lot of money to make.
Yeah.
You can take all kinds of shortcuts and it'll be all right.
Yeah.
It's like, but all right's not always good enough.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and that's just it. The production on
You want to watch those
Recluse
shortcuts.
in Plain Sight is phenomenal. It's great.
Oh, and I mean, the fun thing about making records is there's always room for improvement. Like every one, I can look back at and say, like, I wish I had done this. I wish I'd have done that. I wish I had one more day to take care of a few little things that eat at me that don't eat at anyone else.
No, but good for
really,
you that
but-
you just put it out anyway. I have a
You know.
friend in a band who they went over the album and over the album and over the album, and the band ended up breaking up.
Breaking up?
because they
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
put it out.
yeah.
And now a couple of them were on the show a couple months ago,
Yep.
and they've got a new venture going on, and they're doing great. But they spent thousands and thousands of dollars
yeah.
on this record that they could never agree was good enough, and it was a good record, and it never got put out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's
it
good when
happens
you
a
can
lot.
finally hit the point where you're like, you know what, I'm putting it out. I'm going to let the world see it. I think that's a good
And
thing.
how do and
Exactly.
it's interesting because I recently watched the documentary Long Strange Trip on Amazon about the Grateful
So
Dead,
did I.
and one of my favorite quotes from that was from Bobby when he said, I don't have much use for music after it's been performed, so I don't really get the whole studio thing. Like I guess we had good studio albums. I don't know. We went in, we recorded them. I've never listened to them since.
Yeah.
Like he's literally never like sat down and listened to his studio album whenever it came to him in the
He's
mail.
all about just the
Like
laugh.
he gave it to somebody. Like here you go.
That's like Johnny
Enjoy.
Depp doesn't watch his movies.
And there's something I guess to be said about that. But
Yeah. I mean, I don't particularly like hearing them, because I hear all the stuff that like eats at me, and it's not bad. It's
and
just
nobody
like
else hears it.
Yeah, well, I think they do.
yeah.
I think they do. It probably just doesn't bother them as much.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I
It
mean, they
does
don't
me.
hear it as a negative.
But it's there. But I mean, it's a pretty honest reflection of what they are. Most of them are pretty live. There's no. I've never done anything where you like obsess over a note. You know, it's like you might go back and hit a passage that was out of tune or whatever, but it's like that might that'll still be in there with all the weird little string hits and
Yeah.
Right.
It'll still be masked by everything else and blanketed
I've
over.
had that on some of my recordings for sure.
With that in mind, which one would you like to listen to next? I Was Wrong, Master, or I Was Wrong, sorry. That's Master because it was I Was Wrong, Master.
yeah, I'm like, what is it?
We got a whole new
Yes, Master.
Well,
song's got a whole new meaning.
You have just
that's kind of a
you have just hit a whole new audience, my friend.
that might be appropriate. It is a love song.
50 Shades
Would you
of
like to
Grey.
listen to that or Western?
I guess we're
Sounds like
listening to
it's
Western.
playing.
Yeah.
Whichever
Either
one you want to listen
Playing
to.
because of that
Either
finger of
one.
yours.
They're both, they both start in F.
Oh, all right. Well, let's
For
have
the folks.
Let's have this then. This is
For folks.
this is Western Front.
Someone said something once someone else believed was all we could do not to laugh. And then someone said that we'd all been deceived by someone from the general staff. When that someone turned out to be not who we thought, it brought most of us right to our knees. But these things somehow turn out alright in the end, and when they don't, you just got to say, geez. It's one hell of a day out here on the Western Front. We're all slowly going insane. Quiet and peaceful for the most part. Our hearts got more balls than our brains. Money's no good, neither is the food. Morale's at an all-time low. It's a hell of a day out here on the Western Front. A hell of a way to go.
And that is very much a not just a modern drinking pub song, but almost to take this job and shove it.
Makes me want to drink.
You know, it's like which was like the modern pub song of its time.
Absolutely.
You know, and
absolutely.
Where did that come from? Because that is something that's totally different.
Yeah.
It's out there.
So fun.
I like it.
But great, a throwback to some traditional Americana music, especially with the honky tonk piano in there, the oompa tuba,
tuba.
things like that. The clarinet leading things up front. Very Dixieland jazz meets pub drinking song. Where did the inspiration for that come from?
My head.
All right.
Where was your head?
So
head there then.
I wrote a series of tunes just about being in a band. And I called them war hymns.
Okay.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
And why?
Because they were all, most of them have really bad metaphors and puns. Like,
Sure.
Really,
Well, and why war hymns? Why war hymns?
Why war hymns? Because I think war is stupid.
Okay.
Two, we have this thing. Like everything is crouched in this language of battle. We're fighting cancer, and we're like all this.
Yeah.
We're a violent species, and it's one of my.
Totally.
Yeah.
Everything is
Even
a fight, a struggle.
Even words like what I used in the on-air drop earlier, the daily grind, stuff like that. That in and of itself. And I talk about it all the time in Thinking Deeply. Because we use terms like that, we actually set ourselves up for failure.
Yeah.
Like we actively
and for conflict.
Yeah, like we act.
Absolutely.
It's like the whole concept. My wife says all the time, like the whole concept of Mondays. Like even in an office. Like it's a Monday.
Yeah.
That doesn't make you look forward to going to work on a Monday and being
very
with your
arbitrary.
coworkers and doing your stuff.
And then it kind of creates this whole mentality that the weekend is kind of just an illusion anyway, just to kind of give you some false hope. And then it just starts again on a Monday. But if you're just like,
if you go
about
for that,
then
if you go for that whole mentality, then really you've only got 2 days where maybe there's some productivity going on.
Not even because by Sunday you're like, well, fuck, tomorrow's Monday again.
State of mind.
It's not even worth it. And Brian gets so mad.
Well, I was talking about Tuesday, Thursday.
Like,
Tuesday,
in the office schedule of things. So but even whenever you're on the road, there is a kind of a battle-hardened mentality, There is this soldier's life.
Us and them, and
and you're
us against the world.
You're sleeping on floors. You ain't always eating steak.
Yeah,
know.
No, but when you do, by God, it's a good steak.
It's a damn fine steak.
Unless it's a tough steak.
You got to convince Motel 6 to have 6.
Why didn't I cook my own steak?
Yeah.
Like, I don't mess up steak like these restaurants.
So when you go on
How
tour,
hard is it to not overcook a steak?
Well,
a
lot of people do it. So it's apparently,
very hard.
well, I mean, the
It
thing
depends
is,
on
you're
how you're
sitting there,
cooking
you're
it.
having a drink, you're talking to your friends.
Yeah, the
that's
cook not paying
true.
attention.
Damn it.
It's that damn cook.
you gotta love and take care of your steak.
I don't eat it, but I can
Yeah.
cook a mean
You
one.
gotta pet it, talk to it,
Mm-hmm. Poke
keep
it.
eye on.
Good, you're in
poke it.
charge of the grill at the next Dudes and Beer Cookout. Damn it, I want to get drunk.
You gotta give him something.
That.
So when you are in this battle mode, when you are out there on the road doing this stuff, how frequently do you go on the road for tour? Let's get into some of the logistics here as to what it takes to. But see, that's the thing
You're
is
talking
that people don't
logistic
realize
man over
because
here.
they think like
it's nothing but
they think
logistics.
like, oh my
It's all
god,
logistics.
they think like, oh my god, Johnny Dango, what the fuck? He lives the life, dude. Like, look at this guy on Facebook.
You
He's
do.
like, he's out playing all the time.
like,
He's out in
mountains.
Colorado and
Yeah,
Montana.
Beautiful
You know, it's
scenery.
like, here's Johnny Dango and his majestic beard up on a mountaintop, just
That's
like
right.
Yeah.
playing
Yes.
mandolin with some bear.
Yes.
You know, things like that.
Yeah, the grizzly man.
It's not all the glory like that. How much of your actual tour, let's say, a good, like what you just had, like 5 weeks on the road, it was right up around there, right?
4.
Yeah.
But
What kind of logistics goes into that? Like, planning wise, that kind of stuff. Like, tell people the reality from the fantasy of what it is to go
Crush
on a
some
tour
dreams,
like that.
right?
Yeah.
People
Johnny,
will turn
crush
off-
it, crush it.
No,
people will turn off their
this is the
computers and go
reality.
hang themselves.
This is the reality.
We're gonna have a mass suicide.
I love that.
Oh wow, Jonestown all
They
over.
think being Johnny Dango is so
Yeah.
easy, though.
Hey, well, let me tell you, it is.
Are you Batman?
I come into
No.
strange studios and people give me libation.
Yeah.
Ask me to regale them of tales of my journey.
Well,
Go
it's
back
like,
to the crib,
It's
keeper.
just like steak. It doesn't come along very often, and it's a good time when it does, and you're thankful for it. And there's a lot of logistics, man. Booking a tour on your own sucks.
Yeah, I bet.
It just sucks. You know, it's lots of emails and phone calls and unreturned messages. And,
Yep.
How did you
phone
find the
tag
places?
The
Great
internet.
question.
The internet is a wonderful thing. You know, the internet also helps make. It's not all evil. It does make life easier in some ways, complicates it in others.
Although you
But
are
yeah,
making
it's
it
a lot
quite
of time.
easy for a Craigslist stalker to find you.
Uh-huh.
Track your
Yeah.
movements.
So it was really just a matter of the internet?
They can do like
Yeah,
we've all been tracked. Like if they want to track me, they can track me.
Yeah, we all
I'll
have
spray 'em with
phones
bear
right
spray.
there.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
spray them down with bear spray and then pistol whip them. But
That's it.
you know,
I use the R.
take
Kelly
my
defense
chances.
myself.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
They were not-
See, that'll come after the pistol whipping.
that's it.
Pistol whipper. Like you
Anyway.
wish I stopped with the bear spray, friend.
Aha.
Aha!
But seriously, going through booking that kind of stuff, it takes, like, people don't realize a long time of, like you said, research, going through, trying
It
to
takes
find
a ton of time.
the routes that you want to go.
People don't realize the amount of like the team that's behind, you know,
Yeah.
big entertainers.
Yeah.
You know, I won't use the term artist. Call them entertainers. But there's promoters for this. There's promoters for that. There's just a team of promoters. There's a team of this. There's a team of that. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of moving parts.
Yep.
We don't have that many moving parts. It's a very simple machine. Inefficient. Inefficient.
MacGyver.
It's
We're MacGyvering ourselves constantly. I have to MacGyver myself every morning just to get out of bed.
It's like, oh,
Hey,
Swiss Army knife of a man.
Dude, yeah. I've seen
Is that
MacGyver
a
make a
blade?
bomb out of Bisquick one time.
Hey, I saw MacGyver
like a bomb and
literally.
a pillow.
Yeah.
I saw MacGyver seal the crack in a nuclear reactor with chocolate bars and aluminum foil.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Hey, it could work.
It works on.
Do you need the aluminum foil? Couldn't the candy wrappers do it?
Yeah.
I think that's probably what
That
it
is
was.
what he used.
Okay.
That is what he
right.
used.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
But it was specifically the aluminum foil that was the agent
Which
of the
I don't
reaction.
think they use that anymore. So I think we're all doomed.
Oh, yeah,
now,
that's right.
Oh, no,
basically.
you're screwed,
Game
bro.
over.
I have not seen that in a
That's it.
while. Yeah.
That's it.
My Kit Kat don't come like that.
Yeah, the end of
So
days.
what is it?
Once we're on the road, the thing is in motion and it kind of
it's
kind of takes care of itself for the most part.
Is it a one
we forget
vehicle
what
thing?
it's,
is it like
yeah,
a one vehicle
yeah.
caravan?
We're just in a one. Go out in a van. Used to have to pull a trailer. Don't have to pull
Not
a trailer anymore. Now
Nice.
there's a
Wow, you really condensed.
Sometimes I'm gonna need to pull a trailer, but we've got a few different vehicles for different equipment loads.
Yeah, depending on the show that's
at our
going on.
disposal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
between the different bands and stuff. We're eventually gonna need something bigger. There's no getting around it.
Yeah.
That's a good problem to have, though.
Oosh.
Sure.
What's the number one thing you miss while you're on the road that you had at home? What's that?
Aside from breakfast tacos.
Your dog?
No, I don't have a dog.
Whose dog?
don't
I think I get you and Doug confused all the time.
Yeah.
I think you're thinking Dingo.
Yeah.
That ate right?
Dingo.
I said if I got a dog, I was going to call him Grover.
Good boo boo.
No, that's a good name.
But
Would you die
Dingo.
in blue to match?
Dingo would be great.
Yeah.
Dingo and Dango.
Yeah,
Oh,
Dingo.
Dingo.
Dude, that's a built-in
Yeah.
cartoon.
Have you met Dingo and Dango?
Dingo
Yeah.
would get the front seat. We'll make Todd sit in the back.
Sounds like twins.
No, what you need at that point, you need one of those really killer Vespas that are like the wide glides with the saddlebags
Okay.
and a sidecar. That way Dingo can ride in the
I'm gonna teach
sidecar
him to
with your
drive.
freaking guitar, bro. Right? There you go. Because it's not illegal for a dog to drink and drive, officer. Just me.
That's true. I like it.
If any dog can do it, Dingo can do it.
That's right.
Dingo.
That's
I
right.
believe in you, Dingo.
His reactions are 5 times faster.
No one
than a
believes in
human.
me. Then you got it. You got it, puppy.
He can smell where the danger is coming from.
He's impaired. He's
Come
still
on.
quicker than me.
So aside from endangering dogs on Vespas, what are some of your favorite things about being on the road? Because I mean, as not just a solo musician, but a musician with a band, it's a little bit different going on the road with each. Do you enjoy one more than the other?
Yeah. I love being on the road. I love going. I mean, it's all I've ever wanted to do, really.
Okay.
I read on the road when I was like the right age or whatever for it to infect me. And, but even before that, man, family vacations, I always it's awesome to go someplace.
Is it more of a social thing? Like you like going with your friends and family, or are you cool being out on your own too?
Yeah, no, I'll go on my own.
Do you prefer by yourself or with the band? Is there a difference?
Oh no, the band's where it's at.
Yeah,
just getting to play music with other people.
Yeah.
And even though you play the same song, it's never the same.
True.
So
Yeah. Synergy.
The interaction with people is where it's at, but we get back to logistics and stuff. Solo stuff's a lot easier and a lot more profitable.
Yeah. You can pack like 3 different guitars, throw them in your back seat, 1 amp. Now, just speaking of logistics, album-wise, things like that, as far as being in the studio, I know you're a part of Memphis Strange, everything else, and I know Doug was saying that much like my recording, there's a lot that's done with live tracking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To preserve that synergy.
Almost all of it.
Yeah.
Really.
And even with your work, it's the same way?
Yeah. Most of it is pretty live, There might be a couple overdubs, like the same, one guy plays, multiple parts on the thing, but it's kind of like start, and play through it a couple times, and we'll take
whichever whole take is the best.
Is the best.
Yeah.
Is the one we work with.
Yeah.
And if there there is one section in there that's just, you can get in there.
You can punch it in if you need to.
You have the ability to punch it if necessary, but try to preserve it as live as possible.
Right. I love
as
that.
many people at once playing it as.
Yeah.
And I've done the other two, like the first record, the Pioneers record. I mean, we started just two of us, and we built really basic tracks, just bit by bit, jigsawed it together.
And Recluse in Plain Sight, was that done with the live tracking method as well?
Mostly, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay, because there's some incredible isolation and great engineering work done on it.
Yeah. Steve does.
It's fantastic.
Steve does good work.
Yeah,
he's good at what he does, and got some good.
Was there ever a time when you
together.
entered the studio and you thought it was being maybe overly produced, and you had to maybe speak up or anything like that? Was there not just this record, but any time?
Nothing that I feel like I've done.
Yeah,
really, have I ever been? I'm always like, can we do something like? I want to add more. I'm always looking at people like, it's fine.
So they have to call you down.
Yeah, totally.
Opposite way.
Like we could double track that.
Yeah. Throw an auto tune on that.
There you go.
No, I've never used that one. I probably should though.
Never say never.
No, I'm shoot. Use the technology before it uses us.
Not will never. Have never.
Right.
Have never.
Exactly.
Use it like T-Pain does.
Have
T-Pain.
more like yet to. Yeah. Well, and on that note, let's number one, refill his beverage. Welcome to the beauty that is Mosaic. If you've never had it, this is a mainstay in the Dudes and Beer studio.
I think you'll love it.
This is from our good friends at Hops and Grain.
I think we've had it in our fridge every time we do an episode.
Since the day that I found Hops and Grain, which was pretty much like episode 4. We have had Zoe or Mosaic.
That's true.
Or Greenhouse even.
Yeah. They do good stuff. They do good
depending
work.
on what's right across the street.
Man, I love that little.
I know.
The hula hoop? Hula hoop's awesome.
Love it.
It's misleading from the outside, but when you go in
I go in every Tuesday and I spend $21 every Tuesday.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, it's Tuesday.
I bet he's calling you princess.
No, he's not sexist. He's cool. But he knows me now.
Great.
We're friends.
Yeah. No, it's good stuff.
He wants that money.
That selection is crazy.
It's an insane selection of beer across the street. And, whenever you are on tour yourself, is there, what is it that, number one, you miss the most? Because
it's not Doug's dog. That
I spend a good 10 to 14 days a month at a stretch on the road.
Probably your baby.
There are things that you miss. Yeah.
Yeah,
baby
I miss. No, I don't have. No, I've got no one and nothing.
Nice. That's not sad.
Just
at all.
your muse.
I've got plants.
Oh wow!
I've got plants.
Are a bear,
and I've
man.
lost a lot of plants.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I came home from this one to
not so much the green thumb, huh?
Damn disaster! An absolute disaster. It was like losing a pet. I lost a lemon tree.
Oh wow!
No, okay.
Full of lemons.
Oh no!
Full of lemons. My roommate didn't water my damn lemon tree.
Dude,
he watered his plants. He's gotten into plants lately and watered all his own plants and didn't water mine. He's like, I figured yours were fine.
Dude,
fine.
that's cold as ice.
Sun. Yeah, it sucks.
Just throw it right out into the harsh sun.
And it's Texas heat. He didn't water that. Yeah. Jesus.
Who needs plants? Fuck the trees.
I can appreciate
plants that
you.
Feed you and go in your beer.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
That took a while to get that lemon tree.
So that was.
I do miss my child when I'm on the road.
That was a bummer. I miss cooking for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do you have a pretty dope kitchen?
Cooking. No, I mean it's okay. It's a kitchen. Got a gas range. I got
it's all in how you work it. It's all in how you work it.
Knives and knowledge of spice.
There you go.
Some people.
That's what makes it tasty. Is that spice?
I've got the spice. I got the seasonings. I got
everything
nice.
What's your favorite spice to use?
My favorite spice to use?
Yeah.
garlic.
Oh,
Baby,
Oh.
garlic.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
It's all
I love
garlic.
garlic and Cajun seasoning.
Yep. Yeah, I'm
Pretty much put that
I'm
on
big on
everything.
paprika. I love some paprika.
I
but,
like paprika too.
But I have in the
Smoked,
last
sweet, spicy.
I'm in the
Man.
last 6-7 months been like itching to put cumin in things.
Yeah.
Make
Oh, it's
it
great.
like Indian food.
Cumin's great. Indian food
Goes good in
Really
beans,
really more
if you know how to
Mexican.
like do
Well,
it.
cumin is
Yeah.
an Indian food too.
Yeah, no, it is.
in
It's all
both
over
of
the
them.
place.
Yeah, it's both of them. It's
I'm
like they
not a
both knew
huge
something.
fan of Indian food though. What do you look for when you're on the road?
Yeah.
What do I look for? Salads.
Okay.
Really?
Green
Yeah.
things. Any
Yeah.
chance you can get for green things. Everyone wants to serve you hamburgers and French fries.
Oh,
Yeah,
honey.
right.
Because
Oh, you're in a band?
it's cheap, bro.
You want hamburger
Pizza.
French fries?
Hey, you want a hamburger pizza?
Because it costs like $2 to feed you.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
But salad is
So-
cheap too, though. I mean,
No,
Say, y'all got that garden
Mm.
salad?
you buy it at the grocery
Not
store.
yeah, but as far as a restaurant
Oh
goes,
yeah, no, that's true.
not in comparison.
Yeah, I
In
know.
comparison,
which
like,
is crazy. Where it's
as
like
a
$19
pizza
for
cook,
salad.
you could probably say it.
I can say it. I can say
You're
it.
talking about like the largest pie you got with everything on it. You're talking about maybe $3 worth of ingredients.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
$2 of that is cheese.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love cheese though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when you buy it in so much,
Whereas a good salad,
Yeah.
you're talking about just about the same amount, but for about a quarter the portion size.
yeah, and
Which
you
is
don't get
crazy,
all
'cause
that
if you go
dough.
buy those raw ingredients.
You don't want all that.
Oh yeah.
dough.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But yeah,
So salad and vegetables. Any
fresh
chance?
foods.
Any chance
Yeah.
you get to go to the grocery store?
Yeah.
It's
Any
great.
vegetable you don't
When
like?
any vegetable I don't like?
Yeah.
Oh sure. There's probably.
Which one don't you like?
Let's see.
Kind of
Man,
like,
now that I'm on the spot.
repulses you, like makes you want to.
Like mushrooms are wicked gross
No.
and olives.
Yeah, which one's
I like-
wicked gross?
I like
olives are not
mushrooms.
gross,
I
and
like
technically they're a
mushrooms,
fruit.
I like olives.
They're gross.
What's that other
gross.
What
weird
don't
one?
I like? I don't like raw onions.
You don't like raw onions? Okay.
Cook them up, and I'm into it.
Not
Okay.
even
Carrots.
a Vidalia.
Not really.
Do you prefer
Not
carrots
really.
raw
I
or
mean,
cooked?
like there's some
The black
raw,
dahlia?
raw carrots. No, I mean there are sometimes like a tiny bit, like on a
Yeah.
on a good taco, like
Yeah.
a tiny bit
Yeah,
of raw, but a little bit goes
maybe
such a
in some
long
maybe in
way.
some potato salad,
Mm.
something like that.
Yeah, a little bit goes a
Yeah,
really
sure does.
long way with me.
Sure does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
But-
interesting.
Uh,
Broccoli? You like
but
broccoli?
I like onions. I like
So-
broccoli.
Oh.
So first thing, when you get home, 4 days on the road, or 4 weeks on the road rather, what's the first thing that you look for? What's the first comfort food that
What's
you're
the
looking
first?
for?
Or
Yeah.
like just general
Oh,
things.
yeah.
Like what's the first thing
Tacos.
you do?
Yeah,
Tacos.
Gotta go for them tacos.
You can't. I mean, that's one of those Austin things, or not even Austin,
What about
Texas.
Torchy's
things,
v Taco
like,
Deli?
Man, ooh, I'm gonna go with Taco Deli.
Yeah.
Me too. My husband thinks I'm
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Nah. Though I just found one right up the road the other day that I don't know, it may have both of them beat.
Where is it?
What?
Halencius, right up the road
Oh,
on,
yeah.
on First Street.
Make some mean.
No, right?
tacos.
Going this way towards
No.
290?
No, going.
Tacos Halenciensis
That
going-
one. I think, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The-
that's the one.
on the Ben White Access Road.
No,
No,
it's-
that's a Halenciensis.
it's
Right.
literally right up the
Like
up the
number
road.
one, number
the same.
here on
They
First
have
Street,
numbers.
just before you get
Going
to
like towards back to
William
our
Cannon.
house? Okay.
Yeah,
I'll have to check it out.
yeah, it's
Because
right
I'm
there
not
next to
sure
like a
that's the other way
Korean
is
fusion
terrible.
sushi place.
Ooh.
Korean
Wait a second, I
fusion,
need to know
dude.
about that.
I know, right?
Like, I'm in.
Kimchi and sushi.
Oh, God.
Dude, kimchi roll.
Yeah, I'm
Mm.
pretty much
I'm
gonna
down.
be eating
I found this
fish
place
again
that makes
after 10
kimchi
years of
fries.
marriage.
Nice.
I've
Those are
decided.
Really? No, yeah, I don't want to take thunder away from you, but I gotta know about that.
Yeah, all of a
Because-
sudden, all I want to do is eat fish, and I haven't had meat in 10 years.
Yeah,
I'm not like a weird
What?
vegan.
Nope.
I have like crazy health issues, and so I just stopped eating meat. And all of a sudden, last like 3 months, I just want to eat some fucking fish. So I think I'm gonna do it.
Let's go for sushi.
That's the thing. Like, I really want to eat some sushi.
Let's go for some sushi.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Because Amy's all down for it now since she had the baby.
That shit came from Fukushima, man. Watch out, man.
No, dude, we have any Pacific shit.
You do gotta watch out.
Yeah.
You do gotta watch
Don't
out.
eat that
Right?
tuna.
It'd
Yeah.
just be my luck
No
that
Pacific
my first
tuna.
thing back,
Yeah,
I
no
would,
Pacific.
Like,
No
get
Pacific.
poisoned.
They
Yeah.
don't really tell you.
No.
You know, they're selling you
A
Yeah.
little blowfish
Just
that's
little
poisonous
fugu.
or whatever.
Tiny pieces
Cut him
of
just
uranium.
right, or you're
Yeah.
like tingly.
I
Yeah.
would like your most uranium-enriched fish, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a vitamin, right?
No.
Yes.
None of that mercury. Let's go with the heavy radioactive metals.
I'm
B3
basically
and
radiation.
uranium.
Give
I
me that
like it.
cesium
B3.
137 right
You
there.
pour a little iodine on it. And,
Just have
Yeah.
a little calcium in
My
there.
tongue is
man.
glowing.
Little iodine eel
It's fine.
sauce.
yeah.
Mm.
I got parts of me glowing now.
Coach you down.
My tongue.
So now you just
So,
came
yeah.
back from the Strange tour,
That's right.
and you got this new album dropping. Are you doing a tour for that one too?
Nope.
No,
Maybe.
just doing it.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm
More
trying,
local
trying
promo
To, trying
or-
to put it together.
You
If
should
I
do a
do,
local promo.
if I do, it's gonna be an acoustic
Yeah.
tour.
That's cool.
I like
That's
it.
cool.
Because my guys are not available.
That makes sense. It just
You know,
coming back
we get
from the
back.
whole
We
thing.
get back to logistics.
Yep.
You know, and it all comes back to logistics.
Sure does.
And that's that's fine. But yeah, probably not gonna do a big tour for that. Doing a show down at Sam's. It's gonna be the Strange playing it, but it'll
For the release,
CD
or?
release too. But,
Sam's
you know,
Town
nice.
Point?
yeah,
Nice.
the Grand Ole Opry,
When
in
is
South
that?
Austin, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
When is
yeah,
that?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know Sam's.
September 1st.
Played there a
Okay.
couple
The
times.
date of the
Okay.
actual
Oh, awesome.
release.
So you're doing a big
Imagine.
release party?
Nice.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's going to be big. We're going to have a good time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's all that matters,
Sam's,
right?
Sam's is
Yeah.
always, and for any of
Sam's,
y'all in the
yeah,
Austin
dude.
area that don't know, like, Sam's is the hidden gem.
It is.
It was the first, like, bar
I've
that
played
I
there.
found out about in
Yeah,
Austin.
Freaking 2 or 3 times. They're fucking
Where
dope.
is it?
I like
It's
it.
a cool
great.
place. It's way down south. It's off Slaughter.
Yeah.
But, like,
Way down south
tucked
I
back.
live?
Yeah.
On Slaughter.
Tucked
Now,
back
let me
in
tell you,
the-
though,
Yeah.
Don't know where
You know-
Sam's is?
Okay.
Yeah,
you know,
I know.
Outrageous.
You know-
I know, right? Outrageous.
I've only been there
You know,
since
just
How is that
2004.
possible?
just before you get to First Street and everything, coming up Slaughter, there is a McDonald's and like a auto
Man
auto
Shack.
place.
It's right there where that
yeah.
Yeah.
McDee's is at. At
Yeah.
that light, you
At
want to
that
turn.
light.
You go back
Yeah.
through the neighborhood.
Yeah, you
past
go
the
back to the
fire
neighborhood,
department.
you get to
Yeah.
the fire department, you make a left, and that's going to take you down, and then you're literally going to see just this gravel friggin' driveway.
So
Yeah.
it's like
Weird
man
little
jack.
compound.
Yeah.
with
You're
double
gonna,
wides
Yeah.
and-
you're gonna think
It's-
I'm in the
it's-
neighborhood, like what the fuck? I'm like in the wrong area, but when you find it, you'll find it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like right there.
It's like this little fenced-in backyard.
It's hidden. It's hidden.
It's this
we're gonna
double
go-
wide trailer.
Dudes and beer represent at the premiere.
We should.
I could be.
We should.
That's
You
up
wanna do a
to
live
that's up
remote?
to him.
Oh, I
I'm,
just meant like to go and clap and
I'm
firework.
down with going.
Not like an actual like bring the rig.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't feel like
I just meant like, yay, we're here. That's
Production,
exciting.
just
Here's some money.
come have a time.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Maybe
I've
we'll
done a
give away
few
some
live
koozies.
recordings at Sam's Towns Point,
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
but
Shoot some video if you feel like.
Yeah.
but it is.
But yeah,
a
it'll
fun
be
place.
fun. We'll
great.
be doing the
Now,
the
when
songs
is
with
it?
the Strange. September 1st.
Oh,
What time?
sweet.
What's the cover?
I don't know, and I don't know.
Awesome. We will put it
I
on
don't
the
know, and I
website when
don't
you
know.
I
do
don't
them.
know that there
You know,
typically
I'm not
is a
gonna-
cover at Sam.
No,
they do.
no.
They have a.
Oh,
they
Is
do-
there a
Well,
cover
yeah,
this summer on
They do a
it?
small. They do a small cover.
Okay.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Makes
Yeah.
sense. It's for an event. I would think
Yeah.
that they would have to. It'd be in your best interest for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Cool.
Some people balk at the cover. Some people
Ooh.
happily pay it.
Right.
You
Well,
never
and
know.
as-
You never know which way it's gonna go.
As a
I like
musician,
free stuff.
as a
I'm like
musician
everyone
here
else.
in
I put on my
Austin,
pants one leg at a time.
Exactly.
where do you stand on that? Because as we were talking about earlier, with all the ASCAP stuff,
Right.
and I find it funny that venues do charge a cover for bands that are playing covers.
Yeah.
Where although really as a former bar manager and an artist myself, I've always kind of turned the question around onto bar owners and bar managers whenever they're like, "Oh, how many people do you bring in?" Like, I don't know, without music on the stage, how many people do you have in here drinking drinks at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night?
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Or,
You know, and I don't know. I mean, to
know?
go back to the Dead, like, you buy your ticket, and they're still going to play some covers.
Yeah.
You know,
it's going to happen.
Go to a show.
They're
You don't know
gonna
what you're
they're
see
gonna
at the show.
Yeah, they're gonna play what moves them.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Wow.
But
So, I don't know. You know, I mean, I always think, like, wouldn't it be something if at the end of the night the club showed you the books?
right?
Yeah.
Like, let's see the real numbers, not just we did. Here's your 10%. Here's your 20%.
Well, we like to go
let's
places.
really look at the numbers.
Yeah.
It might not work out in my favor, but
Right.
I'd sure
like
to know.
The only way you can fix it is to see the numbers.
Yeah, we've done that before though. When we've done live locations, we'll go like the Tuesday before and see like, okay, there's 6 people here,
Yep.
and then we'll come out the next Tuesday and be like, okay, there's 96 people here. So when they're giving us a hard time or whatever, like, well, we brought in at least 90 people who are at least drinking 3 beers each, so you can chill out with your hard time.
We can do the quick bar math.
Yeah.
And, you know.
So that's not a bad idea. Go check them out on a regular night and see.
Yeah, and you know, it is tough though whenever you're a musician to kind of put your foot down and say it costs this much to play on my corner, you know, because eventually you do have to get to the point where you're not playing shows for free. It costs money to have a rehearsal space. It costs money to put albums out.
It's your livelihood.
It costs money to make flyers.
Yeah.
It costs money to put Facebook ads out.
Yeah, it does. Everything is money.
Yes.
Except for this, you're here with us for free.
Yeah, this is free.
But y'all bought beer.
Unless you got like $20 bucks.
It's not free for us. It's free for you.
You got
It's
$20 bucks.
expensive
That's
for
cool.
us.
It's expensive as shit for me. Baby needs a new pair of shoes. But you know, it is one of those.
I don't know. You also want to get in front of people who would not see you any other way.
Yeah.
You know.
No, and that's just it.
There is the exposure thing when you're at a certain stage in a band's life.
Yeah.
You do want people to find your music.
Yeah.
To know who you are and
you know, so you do stuff that you're like, well, we're not gonna make money, but
maybe
I was young, I needed money.
maybe people will see it.
Young, old.
Mert was doing 4 days. I needed a check now.
They're just giving it away in some places, but not in music. Turns out.
Well, and it is regular work, and that's something that I love hearing from musicians. I love hearing from artists is the fact that they are actively working on it, because it is something that you have to work at. People think that it just happens. People think that you get 4 or 5 people together and you write 5 or 6 songs, and suddenly it's like wham bam, you have the success of the Spin Doctors, and then the next thing you know, you turn around
the band,
and
the
you
Spin
have the
Doctors.
success of the Spin Doctors.
Yeah, what an example.
All right.
And you're like,
You've followed it through.
you know, we had 2 songs. We had 2
We had
songs.
2?
But where was the longevity
Well, they had a
of the
whole
project?
album,
You know, where was the eye toward longevity? And that, I think, is more where coming at it from an artist is important. Coming at it from the point of view of you, where you're going to be honest and true to what you do regardless.
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to have a band. You know? I always wanted to be part of a band, and it to be about the band. And
I'm bad at it.
That's okay.
You know, they don't. People, not everyone gets on the same page. Not everyone's willing to go all the way.
Right.
It's a lot of commitment, man. It's a lot of commitment. Even if you're going weekend warrior, If you're going Weekend Warrior as hardcore as you're going at.
That's what I find
It's
a lot
commitment.
of common things between people that I meet that are a lot of friends of mine are in bands and stuff. It's that common, like, you know, like everybody's not on quite the same page on ready for the long haul, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a big
You know,
commitment.
maybe somebody's ready for like just okay, yeah, that sounds good for the moment, or but not for that.
Well, circumstances change
You know?
dramatically with
Hey,
people's
circumstances
lives.
change,
as things
life
go.
happens.
Life happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even this
Yeah.
podcast, in and of itself, like look
Yeah.
at the dynamic change over the last year and year
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
I'm here now.
In the last 6 months
Yeah.
since Julie has
100%.
joined in.
Julie.
And
Well,
the
first time I met you,
strides.
I was 2 weeks on to this
The
podcast.
strides
Yeah.
that have been made on all fronts between all of us, and it really is that conjoined effort, that more than one person pulling the cart toward the same destination and seeing that end goal.
Right.
And it's so important with a band. How often have you found that that chemistry changes with a band?
Regularly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always changing.
Well, yeah,
always
sure.
changing.
I mean,
Having
it's always in
multiple bands,
flux.
is it
Like-
kind of easier to sort of give everybody what they need because you've kind of got 3 different irons in the fire?
Oh.
Yeah, but
A
that's
musical
like,
Mormon.
That's like a reaction to none of them, you know, being able to be the full-time thing.
Yeah.
Oh, so
know,
you're looking for
it's-
like balls to the wall dedication.
Sure. Yeah.
Right,
I mean,
that'd be
that was
awesome.
always the
Yeah.
you know, that
That'd
was
be
always
awesome.
the dream, to have a band that would
Yeah.
be
Right.
the Rolling Stones, and like,
Right.
by
Yeah.
God, we're gonna
Right.
do this
Stick to
for
it.
Yeah.
like, and that's gonna be it, you know.
Mhm.
Like,
Amen, dude.
someone might die in a pool of vomit, but like
The show must go
Hey.
on.
Yeah.
we'll remember that. son
We
of a
will
bitch,
drag
Yeah.
them to
and
the
we'll get
doors of
Ronnie
the next
Wood
show
going,
and play
you know?
Exactly.
and prop them up on a fucking stick with a very low
Or
light
like
on
just
them.
put a lot of candles around
Yeah.
them and make it about
Yeah.
the,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Memorial?
Weekend at
No, that's what I'm
Bernie's,
saying.
Oh my gosh,
the
I
Yeah.
like
musical
it.
version.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
What about the type of band that like you know, you have maybe like some members, you know, and then like maybe like the guitar player, he's you know, he needs to be out for a while. He needs to do his
Are you
own
talking
thing.
about personal things?
I'm just like
Yeah,
these
we
are,
benched-
and then you
If you
have
need
another
advice,
guy.
just
we
say it,
benched a-
Steven.
yeah,
We benched a guy once.
Just say it.
yeah.
We sent a guy. We sent a guy to the bench.
Oh,
Yeah?
no, sitting down in
Yeah.
the minors.
Really?
And
Yeah.
that's tough, man.
You
That's
know, we
hard. That's
called-
hard to do.
We called a guy out of the bullpen and put him in there,
Still
and
like
you
it?
know, it's like. then,
What was that like with the band? I mean, was it a blessed moment of relief? Was there
Yeah, I
some
think it was
conflagration
Oh, it
amongst
was-
that?
No, it was good. It was good for everyone.
Yeah, okay.
Mostly for the dude that got put in the pen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
know,
did
they're
it
like-
work out for him?
Yeah, I mean, he was you know, he was having a hard time with a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And
So it was probably a relief to be able to have a little
so
bit
it
of applause.
was, it was like, you know, here's another thing you're responsible for, being the drummer of this freaking rock and roll
With
monster.
us
the
blown
drummer.
up
Yeah.
and on
Drummer
tour
pulls a
and-
big
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you know, he kind of took a time out and got himself back together, and then
Nice.
we made more music together.
Oh, that's
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah, that's-
so happy
yeah.
ending.
That's good.
Yeah, no, and
Yeah.
that's just it. Whenever it comes down to it, band is family, and you know, if it's not, then you really have something to worry about. You know, if everybody isn't concerned about people as individuals, as a whole person, then you really have something to worry about. And that's kind of where I feel that there are people that are out there just for the success. There are people out there just to use other people as a stepping stone to get somewhere else.
Or actually, at the same time, those guys and these other dudes that like the ideal of it, but don't really know the hard work that goes into it,
well, sure.
and then find out like, oh shit,
Like this is
you know.
definitely a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and there's definitely a lot of those that don't realize that, you know, you can get together 3 nights a week and like bring your 12-pack and drink and jam, and that's cool. But if you're gonna take that to a professional level,
But I think it's like every executive that's a bass player in a band. They do that 2 days a week to get away from their wife. That's
The bass
not,
player should never be an executive.
Never?
Never.
No.
Is that what the problem is for
Too
all
tight.
those bands?
Too tight.
Never. Never.
Is your
Never.
bass player not an
The
executive?
bass man.
No.
The bass player and the drummer
No.
should almost be the flakiest
It
dudes in
should
the
be
band.
indentured servants.
Yeah.
They just keeping the damn beat.
Is that what
Yeah, no, they're
I'm
just,
getting
that's
there.
just
I was
it.
wrong, Masters, about your
Yeah.
bass player not being
Yeah.
an indentured servant?
Whatever less than human is.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on the bass bot to be designed.
The bass
Right?
bot.
And if I
Right.
had any ability in robotics, I'd
like-
build it and solve a lot of people's problems.
With
Yeah.
their bass players
A
always
lot
flaking
of
out.
people's problems.
Just don't give it some
I'm
Well,
AI.
learning.
it's,
dude.
you're hard
Observer.
pressed to find a good pocket bassist.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean,
That doesn't open a well to a fifth dimension.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah,
low
no.
end
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
suffering.
Well, they aren't all. They can't all be Phil Lesh. That's like in his own realm, doing his own
No.
little thing. That's like, I'm going to play a total counterpoint to what's going on over here,
But it's
but
gonna
it's
work.
going to utterly make sense, you know, and it's going to add like to the pattern of the panoply.
You want like
that is
kind of
the
like
sound.
Double Trouble or something like
You
that,
know,
right?
Well, yeah, you know, and really like blues is the example.
Yeah.
If you're looking for like a bassist in the studio, that's what you look for, is like a straight up blues bassist. They're going to play in the pocket.
Yeah.
They're going to play like, oh, what is it? CDGA? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Hit it. And they're just going to, they aren't going to get crazy. They aren't going to go, you know, like O'Teal Burbridge, you know, and just start getting all crazy slap pick on you from, you know, like
Yeah.
just crazy jam band shit. But
Or some Primus, yeah.
yeah,
You don't want to
exactly.
go that route.
Well, you may want to, but it's definitely one of those
Yeah.
that the bass helps define shit. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what
you don't-
moves. That's what moves butts.
Yeah.
You know. That's
that's what gets
moves
it
people
moving.
around the dance floor.
And you definitely got to find, what is it that you look for in a bassist whenever you're looking for someone. What is it that makes the bassist with the Stinking Roses?
Good repelling gear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when you get knocked down into the well, you have to make sure you don't fall all the way. Thank you very much. You have to be able to get back out.
Yeah.
So good clamp-ons, an ice axe maybe.
Okay.
No, you know,
Some resiliency.
arena gear
All right.
is the is the thing. You know,
All right.
if we're playing a 200 seat club and the bass player brings out his arena gear, then
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
we're seriously
Yeah.
ready
He's
for
bringing
some
out
rock
an
and
8x10
roll.
at that point.
Yeah, a fridge.
Yeah.
You might
Yeah.
get free.
Bringing out a Sun 8x10 cab, and
Nice.
we're ready to put some volume out. Well,
Yeah.
and
Let's
on
move some
that
air
note,
and some lives.
let's get into the third track,
I was wrong, Master.
which is kind of yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I was wrong. This is apparently the master of
Not
it.
too often.
Yeah,
You keep
that's
saying
right.
the wrong damn thing.
So, we're gonna listen to the first part of this, and when we
Oh,
come
yeah.
back,
This is a smooth
we will
jam.
We will talk
Ooh, I
about
wanna hear the
its
smooth
creation and more.
I like to do that.
I used to think love was just a luxury meant for other lucky people, not the lonely ones like me. And I used to think that women and loyalty had about as much in common as common folk and royalty. But I was wrong. You helped me realize. You sang your song of love. You opened my ears and eyes. Maybe I was wrong, and you were right. I'm the luckiest man alive to have you here with me tonight. Nothing good ever comes when we argue and we fight. Baby, I was wrong, and you were right. Ever put too much stock in those fairy tales? Some Prince Charming got the girl. Bad guy always fails. In real life, nothing much ever goes by the book. Girls always pick the bad guys. Good guys.
I love that track.
Yeah.
That is probably
Awesome.
out
We're
of the
back.
ones. Out of the ones that you sent me, that is probably the one that I listened to.
That's the one that got you?
Oh, it's
More
so
than
good.
anything,
So good.
Yeah,
because I'm a big Rodney Crowell fan. My dad went to
Okay.
high school with Rodney Crowell.
Yeah.
And I was
Don't lie
brought
on
up.
the air. Don't lie on the air.
I'm not.
That's
but
crazy. My
he's-
dad was Rodney. No.
That is possible.
It is. I'm an adopted kid.
After what I just
you never
heard,
know.
it's
You
very
never
possible.
know.
But quite
Make it up.
literally, that has such a Rodney Crowell vibe to the
Oh, cool.
lyric.
Sweet.
It is so simply true to life and memory. Something that people listening to, I think, can truly identify to. You know, I mean, Rodney Crowell has songs that whenever you listen to him, it's like, yeah, I remember that night. And like, that wasn't even a night in your life, you know, but there's something that's just so utterly identifiable
Right.
about it. And I think that there is something with that song that is
Really?
so utterly honest and identifiable, that I think it has to resonate. Where did that song come from? What was the
Yeah.
genesis of that track?
The truest genesis of it, there was a second genesis, like first and second genesis.
Not like
Yeah.
Sega Genesis.
First, second, and Sega.
There's the Bible
Yeah.
Genesis,
The
and then
books.
there's Sega.
Then there's this one. It's got left out of both of those others.
Yeah.
My buddy Carter Blackburn and I really, we have a sick appreciation of really, really bad country music.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Like, some people watch bad movies and like,
Yeah, my
Yeah.
is
husband
that
does.
really a bad movie? It's great. It's so bad it's good.
Right, right.
Like,
It's not a thing.
Like Ozzy can't sing, but he's good for
Yeah.
some reason.
so we try to write some bad country songs.
Sure.
And
Sure.
this started as one of those, but I couldn't totally follow through. But there's still some like just cringeworthy rhymes in there, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And you hit it.
Like,
You hit it in that
yeah.
song, man. You put
Yeah,
all that is
like-
in that song that we just heard.
Yeah, like it's a bad
It
country
reminded
song,
me-
but
But
I
it's
wanted to
so
make
good.
it like
It's-
sound
It's
really
great.
good.
Yeah,
you know?
it's
so
great.
So it's like
Yeah, it's
I
great.
listened to it and I just and people were like, and
Yeah.
it was kind of a joke to me. And then
Really?
we were hanging out back at the Horseshoe Lounge one night, and I like played it like, hey man, he did one of his songs. I was like, I got this one, check. And I like, played it. People were like, hey, that's really good.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
Yeah.
Right.
oh God,
You're like, oh,
what
God.
have I done?
What if I?
Yeah.
No, you're stigmata here.
But then I was,
Yeah.
it's like in talking to Steve about the songs we were going to record on it, we were, one of the things he wanted to accomplish with it was like make a song that like more people in Texas would like.
Oh yeah,
It's-
you hit it, man.
It's a good driving song.
Dude, you
Yeah.
It's a
hit
good
that one.
driving song. It gets
Yeah.
you down the road.
Yeah. I
Most
mean,
definitely.
Yeah.
I don't like to use.
sure.
I wouldn't like to use bad to describe it. But
No,
No.
it's good.
No, I don't. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I love it.
But it totally
I
reminds me of
absolutely
like a
love it, but
70s
it, like,
country,
It started,
you know?
Yeah.
started
70s
like
It's got, and that's exactly
Quintessential.
what I would say. It's
Yeah.
got.
It took me back when I
It's
heard
got
that.
a straight Don Williams
Yeah.
vibe.
Right.
You know, like straight up as pure as you can get. It's simple of mind. There's nothing complex about it. It pulls no punches. It's going to tell you exactly what it's about, and just be straight honest, because there's no other way to really say what I'm thinking.
And going into that track, I did not expect to hear that, and I definitely didn't expect that good. What I heard, and
So the second genesis of the song, like it started as that, but then like kind of around the same time when I was toying around with it, I wrote it in like a weekend. Or thereabouts. Definitely within a week. I remember sitting in Carter's garage thinking of he played I don't remember which of his songs. I was like, oh man, I gotta come up with something now. Going home and like trying to write a country song. But then I also had like my first fight with the lady friend. The first thing.
Give her a little Dean on her.
It had not been bad until now. What in the shit? And, so some of that snuck in there too. So it was like it was informed by real that's why I was wrong, master.
Did the lady
master?
I feel like master is now part of the song.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, if you saw the other ones,
I feel like the album art is going to totally change now.
Yes.
It's going to be like some horrible.
Here's the question, Johnny.
Eagle
Did the lady friend you were talking about? Did she hear this song?
She heard it. Yeah.
What'd she think of it?
She liked it.
She liked it.
No, she liked it.
Did everything get copacetic afterwards? Like y'all
And then
smoothed it
not.
over?
for a little while.
Did
and
she
then,
hear
then
it?
It went bad again, stayed bad.
Did she hear it after it went on the radio? Or?
Well, no, it's not been on the radio.
Oh, well, okay.
Well,
No.
as soon as it
It would have been on the
she's gonna be
radio in
calling you.
1974, but
Johnny, you were just supposed to go along with that, Johnny.
we're past that stage.
Johnny Paycheck is no longer on the radio.
Come on, everything comes around again. You're in a prime
maybe.
spot right now.
I need to find a radio dude who can make that happen.
Okay.
Oh, that ain't gonna be hard with that. That's
easy.
That's a great.
I mean,
track.
Austin too has such a glut of live music, and we've got radio stations that actually still do play local musicians to a
That's
small
true.
extent. It's not what it was 20 years ago, but it does still
They do
happen.
a piss poor job.
Yeah.
I'm just
They
going to
do.
put that out there.
No,
right now.
thank you.
It's
Thank
not
you.
what it
Put
used
that
to
out
let's-
there.
be.
let's-
Are you listening, Austin Radio?
And let's talk
You're
about that.
blowing it.
Let's talk about that
Blowing
a
it.
little bit. Let's
Support
talk
the
about
scene.
because I used to be on 90.1 in Houston as a local artist,
The only
stuff
voice I
like
can
that,
do.
bringing music in once a month. And you're hard pressed to find a local radio show that does local music.
Yeah.
And our
two
friends,
local bands an hour does not count.
Two local. Yeah,
More
right.
than zero.
It's two more than zero, but it's probably 10 less than Denver.
the problem is why is the punk show not doing it? Why is every single show?
Not doing 2 an hour.
Because as opposed to somewhere like in Nashville, not really a huge punk scene in Nashville. But
I don't know.
but there is here.
There is here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A bunch of my friends are.
There
punk
probably
bands.
is in Nashville.
Yeah,
too.
and it's one of those. Even
all
our
kinds
friends,
of underground music in
Confucius
Nashville.
Jones and Aaron Knight from those damn comic book guys, and KUTX 989. They actually have a show called The Breaks that does modern hip hop, things like that, and
See,
they've even tried.
The Breaks.
They have done local hip hop music and things like that. But even to get people to understand the submission process,
Yeah,
like
it's gotta
I
be.
think
it's not hard. It's put it in this Dropbox, and it has to be It has to be a WMV. Like, it has to be like this file
okay.
type.
You can't just send them a tape and be like,
yeah,
hey,
it doesn't really work that
it's
way.
1976.
And it's amazing.
Whatever. There's the technology, and I feel like most of the local DJs would love to do more, but they're not allowed to.
Right.
They're not allowed to by
Rules
the
and
overlords.
regulations. Yeah.
Well, and that
We need to play the head and the heart, or the hole in the hole in my heart. It's a great song.
Yeah.
Listen to it.
well, and
Google it.
quite honestly, that's where, especially working with jam bands the way I did things like that, I always encouraged them to go the route of the old 97s, and Fish, which was to go out and play your local college. Play your local college ad nauseum. Set up a local regional college tour where it's like, I will come out on a Saturday afternoon and provide 2 hours of music on your mall. Because the thing is, number one, you're going to get a chance to move some merch. Number two, you're going to be getting into the ears of those listeners.
Yeah.
And the young
another
listeners.
Thing another thing that's changed is like kids are not into guitar bands right now.
Yeah, no, they aren't.
That sucks.
It's true.
They're not. They're just like guitar bands. Guitar bands are not cool with the American youth.
Yeah.
I think that
sucks.
everything has its time though.
It'll come back. It'll probably come back
kids,
around.
like the middle school, high school kids, are pretty cool though. Like I feel like it's coming back.
Some of them are.
Like,
Well, I'll tell you this.
Some of them are.
the,
Some of them are little shits.
18 to 30, maybe like they kind of lost the plot musically, but I feel like it's coming back around.
I've got a bunch of friends that are like early 20s that
a
are
bunch of crap.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
It's like
But
we
now,
create just
like the
society
kids,
of consumers who are like,
kids
I
don't have radio anymore. Kids listen to
Absolutely,
what they
it's all
like.
about
me
So
that
I think
sugar
that
drink
it's
with that
different.
song, and I
Right.
listen to that for the.
And that's
The
an
guitars seem to
interesting
be
that's an
dropped
interesting perspective, Julie, especially as a mother
I have a
of a
16-year-old.
Yeah, what do you like?
because
They don't
because
listen
that
to the
was
radio. They listen to what's on the internet. So, a few years ago, they were all into the EDM stuff and
Right,
everything, like all
okay.
that nonsense.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
as people, like, radio is getting more and more irrelevant. And it's all about the internet now. And he listens to whatever is on YouTube. But, like, currently, he is hugely into the Beatles. He likes, like, different guitar sounds. He likes vocal sounds. He likes things that have more of a story format to it.
Yeah.
And it's not
Probably
he's not
fascinates
getting it
him.
from us. He's getting it from his peers, which makes me think
that's not really
that
your.
it is-
I mean, maybe some Beatles, but the thematic music is not necessarily you.
I think there's a little bit of a turn now with
Right.
kids that are
I
coming
think so,
up
yeah.
with the internet because you have everything at your disposal.
Right, check this.
So you can
yeah.
really see, you can have a much better idea of what is actually out there and what you like, and kind of you're not just stuck with whatever nonsense Kiss is putting out, which is never going to be good.
That's right. I
That
think
was
the
a great
turn, the turn is
80%.
coming.
No,
I
not
think
Kiss
going
the
back to
band.
Detroit
Kiss
Rock
FM.
City is awesome.
Oh,
Not
Kiss FM.
The band Kiss FM.
Yeah. Oh yeah, San Antonio, 99.5, right?
I was like, Gene
mean,
Simmons is a marketing
We all
genius.
want
I know.
Leave him alone.
Kiss FM,
God damn
but
Gene
it's not
Simmons. Jesus
quality.
Christ. Every girl wants that tongue.
No.
I guess no. Oh, okay, getting back to more of a relevant thing.
Yeah.
But no, I think the turn is coming around for the guitar thing because, like she's saying, like a lot of these kids these days are listening to the electronic music, EDM, and all this stuff, and it's
But
like
it's changing.
Right. Because guess what? When you're a kid and you're doing all this stuff on the internet, you stumble across.
Yes.
Hey, what's the Beatles?
Yeah.
And you see people making organic music are actually picking up an instrument and
That's
doing
like
stuff, and they're
out
like,
of nowhere.
it
My kid
fascinates
started
them.
taking
Like,
piano
what are they
lessons
doing?
last year,
Like,
and he's
what
so
the
good
hell?
at it. Like I think that
Because
there's
the guitar is
definitely
awesome.
yeah.
a turn. Yeah, I
It will
think
never
that,
go away.
Right.
No, definitely not.
It's
And
just
it's
like the
always gonna
fucking
be
polyester.
cool.
It comes back.
And if it does go away,
And it goes great together. Two
And-
great tastes that go great together.
and quite honestly,
Polyester.
if it does go away, we are going to be living in a straight up like Rush 2112
Wow.
type fucking society where like technology
We
has
already
utterly
are.
taken over.
Yeah.
And and that's exactly what we're talking about. Where the, where the priests have been like, We don't know what you're talking about. You're a crazy person. This vibrational box with strings that makes noise.
Right.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
Give it to my-
it's crazy.
That's
I
no
went-
good.
I was just at the Rock and Roll Hall of
As long
Fame.
as I've got
Yeah.
And we were talking about that because my dad, obviously, he came up in the 60s. And we were there, and he was like, they were
I bet he was a
showing
trip to be there
all
with.
the videos from when he was a kid. And he was like, I don't remember this. But as we stood there more, and he started thinking about it, and like he was Catholic, went to Catholic school, all that nonsense. And he started to like remember it from like sermons where you're right, where they were like, what is coming as devil's words out of this box? And
Oh,
like,
God.
at least
Devil's
we don't
words.
have to contend
Never
with
mind the
that
pedophilia.
anymore.
Yeah, I
Well,
know,
no,
right?
that was a total problem all the way. I think that's
No, now we have to
As
deal
long
with
as I've got a guitar string, I can strangle a Catholic
Now-
priest.
Do it,
No.
do it.
now we have
Your
things
savior's
like
But only
guitar.
with pedophilia, not
No.
just in general.
now we I mean only the 0.2%.
Good touch, bad touch.
Like 4%.
I think they taught that
But-
elementary. Good
I mean-
touch, bad touch.
Yeah, well, even still,
not funny.
looking at things like
It's not funny. I'm sorry.
the stuff that's going on with R. Kelly in the news, things like that, where it's like apparently he has women like trapped in
Three
a
of
cult.
them.
No,
I
two
know, I
houses with 3 of them in each house.
Oh,
my
good
Lord.
for him.
He has them in 2
Good
different
for- well, I
cities.
mean,
Good
maybe,
for
but it's not
him.
good for
This
the women.
dude.
Well,
What the fuck?
like,
Yeah, but and see the thing is like
Is his
these
music
women's
that
mothers
good?
at one point were like, okay, well, she's like dating R. Kelly, and then they find out
Right.
like, well, wait a minute, she's like
Well,
dating
she's
R.
really
Kelly
dating him.
with
Yeah,
like
no.
2 other women in this house and is like
But do they
controlling what he
find
does.
out,
Yeah.
Or does he just like
So-
kidnap
he become a
them?
cult leader.
Yeah, he's like a
Right?
fucking coach.
That's what
incredible.
people are.
'Cause he
That's
likes
so.
peeing.
My
Wow.
question for you is,
Wow.
what
Is
are
that
you
what's
going to
next?
do with your unchecked power as an artist?
I thought about starting a religious cult for a while.
Me
to tell
too.
you
I'm
the
going to
truth.
start a UFO religion because it's
Yeah.
totally tax deductible.
It is.
But anyway,
it is.
That's
and you can
badass.
like, you can put out various publications.
Sure.
I've got some publications I'd like to publicize.
Nice, eh?
No, I better not.
No, you better do it.
You should drill hole.
I better.
You should drill holes in the hard drive of the computer with these publications. I feel.
Drop it.
It'd be great.
Nearby.
It'd be great. We could get,
No,
Drop it like it's hot.
no, it
Like,
doesn't
have you
sound
noticed
like
every-
it would be great.
I mean,
right,
every
Ralph?
cult has to like have a side business,
Right?
Like,
No, for
either
sure,
they're-
because they got to legitimize
they
Look
it.
at Ron Hubbard. He was
investment
crazier than
camels
shit.
or-
Hey, you gotta,
Investment camel.
you gotta have your cash. You gotta make the money.
Dynasty ceramics,
Yeah.
or they have a little restaurant, like
Yeah, they have
That
Yeah,
might
the
be a
organic
little bit more
restaurant.
accessible than
Yeah.
Big Dynasty
That's true.
ceramics.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like, you could have like a music studio. You know,
Sure.
like
A religious
like kind of
studio?
like
You'd have to, 'cause
Scientology,
you'd
make
have to,
people
like-
come be famous.
Hippie
record at my
artist commune.
studio, but like
Mm.
then they're not really
really
famous.
do it out of here.
Yeah.
You could do a hell of a job out, or
Yeah.
a heaven of a job of it from here.
That's right.
Make this a
That's right.
religious
As a
deal.
matter of fact, I have started a new website like that called WesleySpawn.com.
Okay.
Feel free to stop on by. It's the only website on the internet totally dedicated to having Wesley Snipes play Spawn in the new
Oh my
Spawn
god.
movie.
Can
So
let me ask you this? once I click on it,
yeah,
can I leave?
you can if you want.
Then it's not going to work.
You won't
It'll
want
never.
There's so much cool news.
Let's
It'll
see.
never work.
There's
You
so
can't
much.
let- you
There's
can't
so
let
much
people
cool
leave.
news and forums and
He
things
said
like
if
that.
you want
But
to.
you're not going to
Obviously,
want to
there's
leave.
gonna be some
You know why you're not going to
Yeah.
want to leave?
Want
Because
to.
there is a pop up of a beautiful woman that says, "I'm in your area."
There's hot.
Yeah.
But
What is this thing called?
WesleySpawn.com. WesleySpawn.com. But I found out because I'm a huge fan of the
Fan
Spawn
of the Snipes?
franchise.
Oh, okay.
Spawn franchise, and not just that, but Blade. And it was one of those like, okay, wait a minute. The budget of the
Chris's
first
$1 million
Spawn
deal.
movie.
$1 million
The budget of
idea.
she didn't think
Yeah,
it
she found
existed.
it.
Look at
She
her.
found it. She found it.
She
More
doubted
attention
the
to
leader.
What happens
She
here?
doubted the great leader.
Oh no!
I
walked
told
in
you
and
last week that there was a
When you-
website that was launching that I
When you
wasn't
showed up at his
announcing yet.
house that day, last Tuesday, that's
As
what he was
a
working on.
as
Yeah.
a leader, you're gonna have to devise
I
some
mean,
form of
you put it in
you know,
cursive.
Oh no, I know. It went there somehow for Comic Sans.
You'd
No.
be blocking socks for weeks.
It hadn't
If
updated.
nothing
The
says
mission.
cult leader like this font, I don't know what says cult
There's a cult
leader.
going on.
That's supposed to be Comic Sans.
No,
It
it's
got
supposed
replaced.
To be cursive.
Okay, it got
Well,
replaced.
that's a great picture of Wesley
Isn't it?
Snipes.
Isn't that
Yeah,
sweet?
Wesley
That's from
Snipes.
his official
Who is this
Twitter,
dude?
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm baller.
That's
I don't play.
That's an official.
I don't play. Like I actively went and made
Got
followed
the
Wesley
likeness.
Snipes
Uh-huh.
and I followed Todd McFarlane because the idea here is
You got to get them to follow one another.
exactly
Right, and that's what's going on.
exactly.
Yeah.
And not just that,
Something.
but literally like with movies like Deadpool, with movies like
Snakes on a
Snakes
Plane.
on a Plane, where the forums of fans drove the way
You
that
know
this was
what?
made.
Right.
Yeah.
Of
That's-
internet traffic.
I know. I got a shit ton of. Bring it, baby. Bring in the high five.
Basically,
I've
just like
existed-
anything on the internet, it's about the analytics and the
love
I have
numbers.
Wesley
existed.
Snipes.
I have existed for less than 4 days, and I have like 300 something
A
users,
lot of internet traffic.
and it's
People
insane.
love Wesley
I see
Snipes.
just
What
since
you
I
got to do
clicked
is
on
just
it,
get
20
Wesley Snipes
people
to
came
show
to
up
your
and make an
page.
appearance.
Yeah,
Get
it's
Snipes to show up
You
and make an
crazy.
appearance every now and then.
It's
You're the
insane.
wizard behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Pulling the thing.
Well, and that's the
Snipes
thing.
comes, he says some things,
Hey,
he goes off. He
and
signs
everybody knows. Number one, here's my theory behind the Snipe spawn. All right. My theory behind the Snipe spawn is number one, he's already proven himself as a comic book hero. He did a good job with the Blade franchise.
Fuck yeah, I love
Sure.
Blade.
He did great.
I love Blade.
Number two, how dope would it be to have a Marvel hero jump ship like the Marvel artists did
Mhm.
and go play an Image character? That would be pretty sick. Number three, he's probably within budget. The first Spawn movie was
I'm pretty
40.
sure he's in budget.
The first Spawn movie was $40 million in budget, and granted, at the time, like comic book movies weren't what they were. Let's just face it.
Right.
The same year we had Steel, the
Right.
year after we had Blade.
Right.
Those were the 3 concurrent comic book movies. So
After his little
after
IRS
that was
run-in,
X-Men.
his movie wasn't that great. It was a vampire western movie. I can't recall the
Mostly just
name,
wanted to
but-
pay his
but he's in
taxes.
need of work. Yeah.
But literally for $40 million we
Yeah.
got the first Spawn movie. If the budget is 10 to 12 right now, we need someone who's really going to ring the bell at that budget. And I really think that
Really
the only
think
person
Wesley Snipes
Yeah.
is gonna ring
Yeah.
the bell.
Go back and watch
Everybody gets
Go back and watch
it.
Blade.
No offense.
Go back
if
and
you're
watch
listening,
Blade.
Wesley,
Oh, Blade.
Nobody cares.
Dude, Blade was. Oh, I
I
love.
do,
care.
however, like and follow your page.
I care.
That was back in the day. When
Apparently
I was
there's
I'll
like
go back and
200
watch.
people some odd that care.
I know.
What's the one he did with Stallone?
Oh, that was Demolition Man.
Oh, that was a good one
That's a good
too.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
He-
romp.
Which
Yeah.
is what it was. It's
He
like
acts
two
like an
not
asshole
great
real good.
people.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
He could
and-
be a
and
bad guy,
that's
like
just
really
it.
cool, like
You know, so
like
I think
natural.
it
So
could be
bad it's
interesting.
good.
It could be
Very
interesting.
genuine.
Great.
So yeah, you know,
I'm
he
on,
did it.
I'm on board.
He
Whatever you,
yeah.
whatever you need from me.
So go
think
check it
just
out.
to retweet
We may need a
every once in a
theme
while.
song.
Oh God!
You
here we
know
go.
what
I
we
knew
need?
that was
You
coming.
know what we need? We need a
I
good
knew that
Ben type theme song for the credits.
Okay.
You know, like the song that
Yeah.
Michael Jackson wrote for Ben. That's what we need.
Wow.
Something with like some feeling, you know.
I mean, no pressure
So-
though, but it's got to be at least Michael Jackson quality.
Yeah, it's gonna be Wesley.
Well, no,
Michael Jackson
specifically,
quality.
it has to be Michael Jackson Ben quality,
Yeah.
which is only Michael Jackson like C- quality,
I will offer you
which
two
is
words.
still pretty high.
Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
Anywhere
if it's
Michael's in there,
Wesley
it's
Snipes
high.
quality, I feel like you got that. You can knock that out.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably get and this is just going off the fact of there was Spawn and then Steel. You could probably get Shaq to appear on that song with you.
Oh,
No
So-
pressure. No
I'm gonna
pressure
get
at all,
Shaq
Johnny.
and Carl Malone.
We're just going for
Yeah,
it.
I'm gonna
now.
get
People-
We're gonna get Shaq. We're gonna
people-
get Carl Malone.
I know. Shaq and
People
Carl
fear my
Malone.
rhymes.
The mailman.
Get some Keith David, little Keith David, the voice of Spawn from the animated series.
Somehow we can pull in all these people now just because we just.
I now want to produce this song
Yeah.
for the soundtrack.
I want to produce this movie.
Yeah.
With all these names thrown out, sounds like We Are the World.
Yeah.
But like
This
really
is
much
gonna be
worse.
better than.
Because it's not for any kind of charitable
World.
cause.
Yeah.
It's like We Are the World.
We Are the
the
universe.
Spawn.
Yeah,
We got
yeah.
Carl Malone. We got
This is-
Shaq.
It's
This
a
is like-
small world.
This is
Yeah.
like We Are the
It's
World
a
meets a
Spawn
Spawn
world.
8 days a week.
Something about
It's
Michael.
gonna
We gotta
be-
regenerate him though.
Ooh.
It's moving. It's moving. I just made him fall out. That's great. So, as we get ready to wrap this episode,
We don't have to wrap it.
we don't have to.
We don't have to wrap nothing up.
How much beer do you got?
The gold is getting
got
good.
so much
We've
beer.
got good.
Yeah,
We got a good amount.
We got good.
a good amount. Yeah. So, talking about things like that. I'm a huge comic book freak, as you
Okay.
can tell on the wall behind you. Yeah.
It kind of
We-
jumps out at you.
Specifically a Spider-Man freak.
Yeah. Well,
I got into a lot of trouble
specifically
in
a
fifth
Todd
grade because of
McFarlane
Spider-Man.
freak.
Why?
How so?
Well-
Same way as me? Go ahead.
Well, it's hard to explain.
Did you bring Spider-Man comics to school?
Did you like try to
No.
jump off buildings hoping your webs would save
You
you?
were
and then
climbing
you like broke your arm?
buildings.
No, we a couple of friends and I, we really gave some girls in our class that we didn't care for that much a really hard time.
So you bullied
But we
Ooh.
bullied
by being
we-
Spider-Man.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
That sounds
Did you
crazy.
don a mask and hurt people in the name of Spider-Man?
Nope, we shot an imaginary spider web out of our wrists and
Well, that doesn't
and
sound too bad.
stuck
Oh,
them,
dude, that's cool.
stuck them in the corner
That's
where everyone
cool.
would make fun of them.
That's
All right.
cool.
But so there was nothing actually sticking there.
That
in the
justifies
corner.
bullying.
No. No, it was a form of really poor psychological warfare.
Sorry,
I was about 2
Don't
years
listen to
old
me.
when my
You seem like
grandfather
you're
thought that I was flipping him off all the time.
Yeah, well,
Because I'd walk up around the corner and be like, "Come in."
we
like
had
that.
a student teacher, Mrs. Funkhauser.
Oh my god, I
Funkhauser,
love
dude.
that name.
That is such a
She might have
fake
been-
fucking name.
She might have
dude.
been a Ms. She might have been a Ms. I don't know that anyone would want anything to do with that.
Funkhauser,
broad.
dude. What a name.
Yeah,
God bless you,
Ms.
Funkhauser.
Funkhauser.
She had her own
She
band.
She thought we were flipping. She thought we were flipping everyone off. We were doing it. We're like, do you not? There's
God's
No,
gift.
it's the
multiple
wrong
fingers
fingers.
involved here. We're shooting
Really?
the web, baby.
She thought it was
You
the
know-
devil sign.
I used to have.
She was the devil.
I had.
was the
I will. Here's the thing.
Miss
You had.
Funkhauser.
You had a Miss Funkhauser.
Yeah.
I had a Miss Depew.
Uh-huh.
Pepe De Pew?
And Miss Depew was the art teacher. My 7th grade year.
Our teachers are always cool though.
I had joined.
Apparently
That
not
name
this
means
way.
it needs more syllables
I
in
had
that
joined
name.
choir and art for some odd reason. Like I always got these schedules where like I could go like double elective. It was freaking crazy.
That's nice.
But I went choir and art, and Mr.
love
Pugh, I
choir.
remember
Oh,
at,
my God, me too. That
at
is
parent
my
teacher
jam.
conference pulled my mother aside. We'd gotten to the point where we were sewing something. We were like sewing these like little stocking puppets.
That sounds like
You know,
home ec.
it was pretty cool. It was
Yeah.
all right.
Mhm.
It's art. Like, believe it or
Oh.
not,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
upholstery is one of the original industrial arts, my
I
friend.
remember making like
All
a
right.
little toy
Okay.
type thing.
But it was literally like making a little puppet out of like a stocking and cotton and like sewing it up
yeah,
and
they're a
making
little
the
bit
divots.
creepy.
But I couldn't draw. I
I
drew.
still
I
can't.
drew like a freaking
Yeah.
4-year-old with a crayon at a Denny's
I
with
can't
his
make a
tongue
stick
sticking out of his
figure.
mouth
Yeah, me
in
too.
7th
Yeah.
grade, and I'm
You
like,
can make a stick figure.
I
Just
can't make a
circle
stick
couple
figure.
lines.
I know, but mine don't
And-
look good.
well,
No
yeah,
stick figure looks good. I think
Yeah.
we're okay.
but.
It takes a certain
But
mind to
Mr.
do
Pugh
some art.
literally took my mother aside and was like, "I think we need to put Chris in some special ed classes
The fuck
because his hand-eye
Yes.
coordination
So
isn't
she
quite where it
gotcha.
should be." Because I couldn't draw in 7th grade. Like, you put a model rocket in front of me, I can build a model rocket and, like,
Yeah.
build things in shop class and, but you want me to freehand draw something, can't do it.
I remember
They
that
wouldn't let me
one...
into kindergarten for that same reason.
Aw.
Right?
I couldn't stack my blocks
Yes.
the way they
Are
wanted.
you
Yes.
serious?
Yeah.
No,
He
and
he
it's
probably needs another year of whatever you're
Pre-K,
doing.
It's
whatever,
funny though,
like
dude.
My Little Ponies
I will tell you
hairbrushing.
this right now. That is my snarky on the job comment all the time. I'm a live AV dude, and it's one of those like, hey man, like, does it look like that box belongs on top of that box? Does that look safe right now to you? Like that,
Like,
and
did you
I
not
say it
get
all the
those
time, like,
plastic rings when you were a kid?
because I taught 4, 5, and 6-year-olds.
Yeah,
it's
right.
one of those like these are the basic tests to get
Yeah.
out of kindergarten. Like things and like
feel like your
bins.
mom or
Like it's not
parents
hard.
did.
All the XLR cables go in that box that say XLR. All
Plastic rings.
the video cables go in that box that say video cables. You know, like things and like bins, stacking like objects. These are
Yep.
and the ABCs.
There's, like, the star
that's
that you
pretty
put
much
through
the
the star.
golden 3 rings
Yeah.
to get out of kindergarten.
Yeah.
Then as now, I say safety.
Yeah.
Less is more.
Yes, that's true. Less is more,
How
and
did that
never
translate
stack
to not
overhead.
being able to draw a circle.
And never stack overhead.
Well,
Yeah, because when that shit falls, it's
You can't
Or-
stop it, and you can't
Yeah.
see it.
depends over whose head.
That's it.
yeah.
If you want it to fall or not.
Mm-hmm.
No, you.
But a lot of
Now
that
you're
is
talking
common
about being
sense and common sense.
anti-war.
It
You're
matters
really
if it's
trying to squish a lot of
genetically-
people.
Yeah, I've strangled Catholic priests.
I know.
I've dropped boxes on people's heads.
You have gone to a
I've-
dark place here.
Yeah.
I've spread my invisible spidey web.
I heard about that.
Yeah, blocked children in corners.
I'm still mad at Miss Funkhauser.
I mean, I feel like this is a good.
But war is not the answer.
It is not.
No,
You hear me,
it's not.
Lindsey Graham?
That's right. That's right.
No,
So-
war is not the answer.
With that in mind, where do you, as an artist, stand with what's going on in our world right now?
World
Where do
events.
you? Where do you?
The entire world,
the-
not anything specific.
Your thoughts
Not-
on world events?
yeah, I mean, you know,
No,
'cause-
but you should get specific.
yeah, I mean,
Well-
I don't want to get specific because
However
it's pretty
specific
equally
you want.
jacked the whole world over right now.
Yeah.
Like China just released the fact that no,
Oh.
they will be censoring everything.
Is our chat not working?
These are
I'm
strange
getting
times.
Oh, no.
lots of messages.
There we go.
that people
You
are
need a
trying to
chat song.
Sorry.
We have-
Oh no.
Oh, we got people calling
Sorry,
in.
everybody. Sorry, dear Dean Larry.
Oh, man.
Dean, you've been there responding the whole
Oh,
time.
Dean, Larry.
He is
Oh.
always all over the group.
Hello,
He's
Dean.
everywhere that you want to be.
Dino.
Dean, welcome.
Dino.
Spider-Man is a temporary 3 filming thing. That is absolutely true, Dean. Dean follows quite a few things. If I'm
Sure
not
does.
sure, he may actually.
Let us know you're there.
And like he said, Blade movies were not good. Only the first one was.
You killed
Yes,
him.
yes,
What
that's
else?
true. But he pulled off the character, and you can only do as much as the writing does.
Oh, it's all Dean.
No, it's all Dean.
I can draw a
all
turkey
me.
if I choose one. There you go.
So,
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
I sound
that,
like
Dean.
Paul Rudd?
Hey, I like it. I
Paul
like it.
Rudd.
You look like
Yeah.
Paul Rudd.
All right.
Too.
Wow, that's
Wow.
interesting. Paul Rudd.
The poor man's Paul Rudd.
The poor man's for
Who knew? Who
Speaking
knew?
of superheroes, isn't he Ant-Man?
Dean.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
as far as I know, and it could be fake news, it could be fake science. We don't know. We don't know. The
Right.
numbers are still coming in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the world is still spinning.
As far as I know, it is.
I think it's still going around the sun. I think the sun is still at the center of the galaxy.
As long as you can philosophically
And
prove
the
that, you will
galaxy
not be burned for
It's
heresy.
still part of the universe, which is part of the multiverse, which is ever expanding.
Yes.
So, with that in mind, I submit to you this.
What's that?
We're fucked.
Yeah.
Fuck.
In an existential way of thinking, sure. I mean, I guess in an ultimatum sense, by all means, no matter what.
Dean just chimed in and said the world is flat, dude.
I as a photographer,
What if it's square? Why does no one ever consider the possibility that it's square?
if it's flat, then it
Exactly.
could definitely be square.
Yeah. And if it's square, it could be, I don't know, it could be flat.
The
Fucking
problem
cylinder?
is, the
How
problem
about that?
is,
Square
the
means all
problem is,
sides are
if it's
equal.
flat and it's
So
square,
who built that shit?
here's
could
the
be a
thing:
tetrahedron.
if it's flat and it's square, that means by all theory, nobody on any 6 sides would ever know about the other's existence.
Well, we don't care
Yeah.
about those people.
Yeah, right. What if they're actually there?
I don't give a
and
shit
we don't
about
even
them.
know because we
We
can't
don't
get there.
You did some 180 around
about
the
anyone.
edge of it to get to the other side.
This is
or some
about
shit.
America, baby.
Right.
Yeah.
America number
We're
one, not
America.
the one on
No,
side
we're the-
6.
There's another America.
We're definitely on the
Not,
best side.
Yeah.
yeah.
Our side is
There's another America?
huge.
Yeah.
Our side has all the best crops and the smartest people.
Because it's
That's
squared,
right.
which
That's right.
is better.
Well,
Squared. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. That's right.
yeah,
Well, which one's better? Yeah, I'll find out.
because it's
America
cube.
side.
Well, I mean, you know, I think you'd have to go with whichever side is up, just with pure logic.
Yes. What with the sun?
They would have much less the fight with gravity.
But like,
Which
Can you
also-
imagine trying to sail like at a 90-degree angle?
flat earthers account
Which also isn't real, by the
for
way.
shadows.
I know, right?
And like the
You
eclipse.
can still have a fight, and the eclipse is odd.
Yeah.
The
right?
eclipse is
'Cause, like
odd.
that's gonna block it. That's not
the-
gonna just
the-
like scoot across it in a straight line.
The eclipse is odd, but here's the thing.
Scoot,
Here's,
scoot closer.
here's the thing.
I like Dean's chime in there.
You can use a quarter and achieve the same thing. A quarter is flat.
Mhm.
Depends upon which plane is facing the sun.
Is it always gonna? I don't know.
So on the
I'm
other-
not a crazy flat
This,
earther.
yeah,
I can't
I know.
begin to
I'm just
understand it.
giving you the devil's advocate. We're going utter UD drunken party here,
Mhm.
and just giving devil's advocate, which is what I do half the time, everybody. But
Yes,
but literally,
you do.
it's the fact of
We're talking about that.
why does-
guys.
What would you do if that was the case? Like they may have just figured
What?
out
What's that?
there is actually white matter in the universe, and that there is a complete and opposite
Of dark matter?
version.
Whoa,
There's a
slow
complete
down.
and opposite
Whoa,
version
whoa.
of
Why
our
is it gotta be
universe
white, though, Chris?
that runs in
Yeah,
backwards.
yeah.
Because it's all
Why
about
is it
color.
gonna be white?
Are you serious?
I'm just playing.
No, what you just said's true or not?
I'm
Back
dead
up.
serious.
Okay, I thought so.
Back
I posted
up.
it on the Dudes and Beer group.
So
the other day.
basically, that's just another dimension.
Dude,
Yes,
you're a
put it in
prolific
reverse.
poster. It's hard to keep
I
up
know.
with everything.
Oh,
I know.
Lord.
That's right.
It's hard, and believe me, she tries.
Then you
What,
see how a simple man figured that out right fast.
But yeah,
Did you see my Facebook
Okay, so-
AI thing today?
I did, and that's just it because it's hard to keep up. I posted that a few days ago,
Ah,
but yes,
whatever. But did
I
you see
said
how many
nothing about the
comments
fact
when
that I posted-
it.
I
I'm
did-
way more popular
You
than
don't
you.
he is.
Why does the
She
Earth
is.
have an even number of
She
sides?
is like
Why can't it be
because
wrong?
it's one side.
Exactly. Dean gets
It's
it.
a sphere. That's how rotational equations
Just
work.
snorted.
Um,
Oh, y'all, it's been a long day.
We could technically, with the same rotational force and everything else, we could be a dodecahedron, which would be pretty cool in
Is that
nerd
20
terms.
size?
That is.
Is that
Yeah.
the Dungeons and
Yes.
Dragons dice? Or the categories dice? Is
Okay,
20
how about,
That's
how
right.
about? Hey, Johnny, where do you stand on like aliens and stuff? Do you believe in
ones?
them? Do you
Do you
believe
like
in them?
them? Or
Do you stand on them? Do you oppress them?
Yeah, you bet.
Are there life outside of this?
Bet.
Yeah.
I oppress them. I oppress my friends.
Yeah, you
Good.
I
stand and
oppress my
smash
friends.
them.
I'm working on being friends with
They do all the work
aliens
and
so
then
I
you
can oppress
smash them in
them.
a corner.
Like the best thing you can do is make friends with someone
And then oppress them.
Yeah,
Dodecahedron
exactly.
is not a
Then-
made-up
No,
word.
for
Then you
sure.
put your boot on their throat.
When you're done with them, you put the boot on them and push that bitch in the corner.
Well, you just
And-
push it
Hey,
right off
hey,
the edge of the flat Earth.
hey!
Yeah.
It just got unclassy, dude.
Uh-huh.
Flat Earth, little kick. There they go.
You gotta throw B words around. He's gotta drop B words to get his point across.
Drop B word wasn't.
I didn't hear it.
And thank God for that, Julie. Thank God for
What
that.
is a B word?
This is a family show.
You'd have got the ring. You'd have got the ring hand, bro.
No,
Did you
because
say sexist?
the B
Not-
word that I said was intended as for anybody that fits that description,
Kind of
not
like
a
how
female.
we're dudes and beer, but I'm
Right.
a fucking lady.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. You're part of
Kinda
the
like
group.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of like the use of the
So
word
So I think
"crud"
offended
by
for
people in
anybody that
England.
offends
That just
me by
proved it
saying
right
that. Yeah, I get offended by
I don't have
that.
anything
By
on that.
people assuming what I say is something that
There might
they
be
interpret
someone,
wrong with.
She is more than understanding about that, Julia, because it's way too late to rebrand it now.
Branding is my thing.
You got a pee-pee?
No,
I'm about to.
She's getting.
I'm about to.
Oh, I know you're about.
Dean's getting real on the
online.
internet, man.
Yeah, he is.
We've got down to the important part.
Well,
I brought up the bass playing robot
It
earlier.
is, dude. AI
You
is
did.
They can be, they can be
You
used
did,
for
but-
good.
Right
They
there,
can
he's
use
talking
for
about
bad.
making their own language, getting
And-
raped, learning to walk, and right there, I can tell you, Dean is a reader and follower of the Dudes and Beer Facebook group
He is.
because I see him post all the time. I
Chris,
see him
what about
respond
that
to
one
stuff
that you
all the
posted?
time. Number one,
that one.
I'll admit it, Julie. I follow a lot of tech articles, and a lot of nerds are lonely. So there are a lot of articles out there
My
about
articles
sex robots.
Are in air quotes right here. Articles are in air quotes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of news out there about
Yes,
sex
news
robots
is also
coming.
in air quotes. I just want you to
His
know.
sex robots.
Updates.
Hey.
Updates.
There you go.
That's sexist, Chris.
I can live with
Sex
updates.
robots.
You can live with
Updates. There are some sex.
On the forefront of sex robot technology.
Where are you in the whole dawning of the sex robot? Because apparently,
Where am I?
yeah, like
In
I am not about it.
but they have this new technology where
I love
like
it.
robots or AI are creating language
Yeah.
and they're learning. So then you've got these sex robots, and then
You think a robot knows what a C ring is?
they can program it too, for sure.
Dean wants to know if you just assumed our gender.
I'm in the room with them. So where's the line?
Where's the line?
The AIs
Yeah.
are creating language and they're understanding things, and then
Right.
people
Yeah,
are
'cause-
buying them to be sex robots.
I think it's
Well,
just
and as of right now, the two are separate instances.
But
Because
there's potential there for crossover.
oh no, absolutely.
There's like a
because
whole Buffy Angel
because
thing
there were
happening.
there were definitely like AIs that Facebook built to try and mock up, communities, things like that. The way that people would interact. And
Right.
these bots literally started speaking in their they found their
I
own
read
shorthand.
I know. I read the articles, but there's some there's a flaw in the experiment when you why would you have robots try to recreate a community? Right? They're robots.
Right.
Well, did
They're
they
like,
originally
you
didn't they
can't-
want them to be like helper robots? Like if you have a
Well,
technical problem,
sure.
or
We
whatever?
want them to do the stuff we don't want to do.
That is the actual idea
or the
behind
stuff
a robot
that we
or a
want them
golem,
to
yes.
do that humans won't.
That's probably what our
Right.
makers said about us.
Yeah. No. And that
Right,
point,
is that kind of where we're at?
in
with
that point
all
and
of
in
the
that
problems
right,
in this country?
at that
Yeah.
point and in that right, where do we get or when do we get to the point of Isaac Asimov, Rossum's Universal Robots, the fact that robots actually become sentient, the fact that robots actually attain rights, the
Right.
fact that robots are,
And
as
if
in
they can
Blade
create
Runner,
their
all
own
but
language
indistinguishable
and care about
between
stuff.
man
Right.
and human.
And now
or
they've
man
figured
and
out
robot.
how to bargain for things. Robots have figured out how to bargain and
Yeah.
how to convince somebody that something doesn't have value because they want it, even though they know it has value. That is a very human thing. This whole thing is crazy. I'm
Yeah,
talking about
and
fucking
and,
robots.
and Dean is absolutely
But you
right.
believe
There
in it,
is
right,
an
Julie?
interesting.
No.
There
You
is.
I
There,
mean, I believe that robots exist. I'm not an
Right.
idiot, but
yeah.
I don't care if we enslave them. As long
As here's the thing.
well, if they're robots, if
Here's
they're
the
people,
thing.
obviously.
As of
robots.
As of now.
I don't even eat meat.
As of
I don't
now.
even eat meat.
Yeah.
What if it does get to the point
What if it turns out
where
the robots need to eat you?
and that's
Well,
for
that's
you.
the
That's
question.
fair.
That's the real that's the parenthetical question of at what point do we consider something sentient? At what point do we consider something? I just did an episode this last Friday of Thinking Deeply of the difference between sympathy and empathy.
Oh, that's a big thing in my job.
And it's the fact of
An S and a Y.
I think, but it's also an understanding, and I think a robot could be programmed. I think a robot could be programmed to understand through your facial motions, through the fact that you now have saline fluid leaking from your eyes, that it could sympathize with you.
But I don't think it could really understand.
I don't think it could. I don't think it's to the point yet.
But it
could be.
Well,
no. It could have finely tuned sensors.
Exactly. And that's just it. That's one of the things I talked about was the fact of once you get to an empathetic point in life.
Once Johnny Five is alive, he needs to have rights.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, and that's just it. Like once it gets to that point, you know, are we ready to do that? Are we ready as a society? Or are we ready as a humanity to say we have actively created something?
I mean, I think probably personally ready, but no, we still live in a world that is basically slave driven. So, and that's with actual human people, not with robot human people. So, no, like this is all happening much too quickly. I think,
I do
for
agree.
what we can possess as humans with. I can't think of the word, but you know what I'm saying. Like
long-term repercussion.
Fucking humanity.
Yeah.
We lose that constantly. Like we don't need to now create this whole other species or level that we're just going to keep oppressing because like basically that's our whole fucking deal is just oppressing people. So like why are we just going to continue to extend that?
Well, and Dean brings up the point, what if humans were sex robots created by a more advanced race that were discarded on the planet because they no longer wanted the shame of knowing they own us? That's deep, Dean.
Probably what it is, Dean.
Well,
you know.
Then it's a really bad design.
Yeah.
And it's a terrible design.
I truly think that
robot
if
design,
these sex robots, obviously they're going to be created for sex first, and then the AI thing's going to be.
Well, I mean, would you expect a sex robot in your album contract?
In your album?
In my album contract?
Yeah, would that be in your rider?
If it was an option,
would that be in your rider?
I could,
you know, like I need a case
to give
of
away the steak dinner.
Like I need a case to feed you water.
Or sex robot.
I need a case to feed you water. You know, some Quiznos. And a sex robot in my green room, along with like a fifth of Knob Creek, you know, something like that. Like, would that like become part of your tour rider?
What is the sex robot willing to do, and does it take all the Knob Creek to get it to happen?
That sounds kind of wrong.
See,
I'm kidding.
The question is, does it take all the Knob water? Does it take all the Knob Creek
salad
for you to ask the robot? Is the question.
What's going to happen is once the robot is recognized as a human being, or not a human being, but a robot that has rights, then the purpose of the robot that you actually purchased at the time being before it had those rights is going to change. You know what I mean? Like, you see what I'm saying? Let's say if you bought a sex robot, okay? God knows what these people are doing with these sex robots, and then all of
sex with them,
and then all of a sudden they're gonna say, boom, guess what? They have rights, and now all of a sudden that's gonna change. What are you doing with this robot?
Well, it's going to stop having sex with the robot.
Yeah.
I mean,
right, and start treating it right, and and stuff. You know what I mean?
I feel like if there's an inkling while you're having sex with this robot that it's starting to like figure shit out,
Dean has suggested, and Dean, I'm
going to report back to whatever.
I'm going to give you 85%. We'll take 10 and give Apple 5. The iBone by Apple.
No, Apple is far too classy for the iBone.
I think they do it.
The iBone. The iBone. What's the iBone?
Yeah. The question is, what isn't the iBone?
What isn't the iBone?
What won't the iBone do?
So,
I like it
for you.
As we wrap up here, where can people go to find all of the music of Johnny Dango? Where can they go to find the story, the man, the myth, the legend that is Johnny Dango?
You can Google it on your iBone.
All right.
Google it on the iBone.
You can Google yourself.
iBone it.
You can Google your friends. You can Google your enemies. You can
frenemies.
Hey.
hey. Get them on the iBone. It doesn't cost much.
Just don't Google them on video, folks,
Yeah.
because that's illegal in
Ain't
most
nobody
states.
want to see that.
It's all recorded.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
It's all
Ain't
recorded.
nobody.
Hello?
Right?
Hello?
Yes, this is all recorded.
Hello, Mom?
This is going to stay with us forever, guys.
Oh
So
yeah,
hope
no,
we're
this is
proud
out there. My
of-
child is gonna hear this in like 2 years,
Well,
bro.
mine might be, no, he's not listening right now because he's at camp with no internet.
He better not be listening right now.
With no internet.
That's all I can say.
Got no
He's not 18, so he better
No
not be listening.
EDM.
I miss
As much as I love him, and he's very
Parental
advanced.
guidance.
You better stick
He's
with that
a
Beatles
very
CD.
advanced young
I
man.
miss summer camp, but all the bad movies and festivals and this and that tries
Yeah.
to imagine rock and roll summer camp just comes so woefully short.
I miss
He's
the
not at
discoveries
rock
of
and roll
murders
summer
every
camp.
day at summer
It's
camp.
just sad.
I
What?
really hope there are no murders at my son's summer
Talking about the
Have you never watched a summer camp movie?
80s, 80s.
Like
There's
Wet
either
Hot American
Slumber
Summer,
Party
there was
Massacre
no murder,
movie?
just a
No.
lot of sex.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it. We get Wesley Snipes.
So how about we look
get
for some murder
a
right now?
sex robot. We get a lot of sex
I mean,
robots.
honestly,
There
if we're
we
gonna
go.
lay it out,
I like
would
Johnny's
much
idea
rather
on this.
sex
We're
was
gonna
happening
need
at the summer
Wesley
camp than
Snipes
murder.
and a lot of sex robots.
A lot of sex robots.
Hey, which
Yeah.
one did it?
Which
It
one
turns
did?
out they all
Definitely
did.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Wesley.
Turns
Snipes.
out
He
the
always
robots
does
are
it.
really good at doing taxes.
Really good at doing taxes.
I could get behind a tax robot.
I kind of
That's
like
right.
that.
That's
And I
right.
feel like the tax robot would have like a nice enough purpose that he wouldn't be immediately put upon to try to evolve. He'd be like, "All right, I'm doing math. I can do this. Like
Right.
that's okay." Not like
Yeah.
these people
Do
are
math for me.
constantly
That's
fucking
hor-
me.
that's
I want to
horrifying.
evolve.
That's horrifying.
Why I like math.
Yeah, but that was the idea to begin
Jack
with.
said
Was
do math.
that was a horrifying
Nobody
idea to
likes
begin with.
math.
These people are great.
Have to
These
do it.
people are great.
You're going to be among the first people the robots come for.
These people are great at working at the fields.
Probably.
Look at them.
Very popular.
Could you
Look at how
possibly
strong they are.
reprogram us?
No.
Yeah.
Yes, then
No.
we
No,
destroy you.
no,
No.
I know like arithmetic. I
You
don't know
don't-
programming.
you don't-
I like
yeah.
figure out prime numbers and
You're
just,
still
like,
a threat.
No,
Julie.
if you want to
Fuck,
win
you're
the
still a
war, if
threat.
you want to win the war against robots, let Julie program them.
Nice.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you
I love
should.
her.
You
I love
should.
her, but that's
so
the truth.
much
They're gonna elect you.
peace and awesomeness and like cool
Awesomeness.
shit.
I think they'll elect me as their god.
They're gonna be
You
like,
know?
That'd be
It'll be a
badass,
reverse.
right?
It'll be a reverse Return
Yeah.
of the Jedi
That's
thing.
right,
that's right. Totally,
Take
right?
C-3PO.
C-3PO when he was in the chair with the Ewoks,
These
right?
robots will be
Yes,
like,
robot god.
this fucking thing.
Yeah. Luke and Han were tied up,
You don't
and
know.
they were like, "We're gonna take
Yeah.
you to the god."
We
and
don't
it's
know what to do with this.
C-3PO.
Yeah.
We're
Worship
just like,
Yeah.
who's the god?
So,
the android.
speaking of worshiping things, one last time before we take off, tell everybody all of the websites where they can go to buy the album, get the album, hear the new stuff, see the new video.
Unless I'm mistaken.
I'll tell
Johnny-
you if you are, because I've got it right here.
I'm already mistaken, but because I know what's on this thing. But JohnnyDango.com,
Yes.
www.johnnydango.com
Yeah,
should give you just about everything you need.
it does. It connects you to the Reverb Nation,
Whoa.
which is reverbnation.com
Really?
/ Johnny
Yeah, right.
Dango.
Okay.
It goes
I have
to
no idea what's on it.
dango.bandcamp.com.
Uh-huh. I
It
feel like I
also
have some
goes to
control over that.
facebook.com
Yeah.
/ Johnny Dango.
Hey, I'm sorry.
I'm on the
and-
Twitters. I'm
Yep.
on the Instagrams.
Yeah, he is everywhere that you want to be.
I am a social media
and
master.
yeah, he is literally all over the place. Make sure to go by, check out the brand new album Recluse in Plain Sight when it drops at the beginning of next
Formerly
month.
known as Brown Recluse.
Brown Recluse in Plain Sight. And you know, Johnny, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. You actually
Thank
have a
you for
guitar
having me.
over there in the corner.
Oh, good.
So I have to ask before we fully sign
Why
off
don't you give us some?
for you to give us a little jam, a little ditty, a little something to go out on.
Man.
God,
no.
So yeah,
Don't do it.
yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah. And while you do that, you know,
In the
I'll
future,
give
all
us-
music will be made by robots.
I'll
Well,
have
just
you.
the bass playing, right?
Yeah,
And that's
No,
when it
all-
sucks.
No.
It's the imperfections.
the
that
jug
make it.
band side as well.
I want the
something
jug
else.
band playing robots so
It's-
That would be
bad.
sweet.
It's the imperfections that make it,
Boom,
you know.
boom, 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 boom.
But it's got like a hat on, and it's wearing overalls, and it's got like the straw.
Whoa, dude, you got the curb feelers on, bro.
I like it.
That's a beautiful
It's
gill,
like
dude.
whiskers.
Headstock
All right.
just like mine.
Well, folks, as we end this evening with a very special, intimate track from Johnny Dango himself, I am Chris Jordan, your host. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Dudes and Beer. Thank you so much, Johnny Dango, for coming and be a part
Thank
of
you
it.
for having
Thank
me,
you for
fellas.
coming and cutting
And
up.
lady.
And remember, everybody, if you can't be good, be good at it. We'll talk to you soon. Hit it, Johnny.
Memphis Strange, she was a belle of a boat. She was a swan of a ship, but she couldn't float. Slow in the water, fast to sink. When she up and went under the big dark drink. 1,000 mules, some horses and logs, a couple tons of flax, sheep and some hogs. Sunk in the river in a great big blaze 150 years ago, nearly to the day. Wilbur Strange, he was a hell of a man. He was sharper than a knife or a rusty box fan. Had him a scheme, he called it his dream, to make his fortune using iron and steam. Built him a boat, he thought it was the ark, loaded up the Union boys way after dark. Set up the river, making almost 5 knots, and pushed it up to 8 and blew the boiler pots.
Woo!
Oh, yeah.
Do I have to keep playing?
Nope.
Yeah, you do.
You keep on playing. There you go. All right. Thank you so much. Once again, everybody. Once again, Johnny Dango.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Internet.
much. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Johnny Dango.
Thank you so much. It was fantastic having you
That was a lot
on.
of fun.
Thank you for the original track. Thank you
Great
for
time.
all of the fun stuff. It was super great. Until
was
next
super
time,
duper
everybody.
long.
Take care.
Good night.
Can't be good. Be good at it.
Dude, and
Bye-bye.
see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yum, yum, yum.
Second anniversary show, everybody.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Dudes and Beer Podcast. To listen to our audio streams and chat with us live, download the official Dudes and Beer app for both Android and iDevices, available on the Google Play and iTunes markets. For more episodes, content, and information, visit us online at dudesandbeer.com. You can also find our episodes on Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast service. Dudes and Beer is a proud member of the Revolution Digital Group family of podcasts. Thanks for listening, everybody, and until next time, drink responsibly.